It,
No.
it is the happening. Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to Rise in Mind.
Whoa! Look at me. I'm in a dark cave here. I'm already mined here. CP is in the underground, obviously juxtaposed to your right.
You've
breath
already
of fresh air.
You've already mined.
I'm down here. You see, I got the. You see down there. This is a special edition. You get a little sneak peek of some other spots in the Dreamers Arcade, the secret subterranean part. See, there's a tree. You can see a tree down that hallway. That's where you are, I think. I think that's the way out. How are we going to get out there? How are we going to get out there?
How are we going to get out there?
I don't know. Hey, look, you got a coffee cup. That's cool. There's the official get your coffee cups here on Rise in Mind podcast. We drink coffee and
I would like to make an official one. That'd be awesome.
Just a little side thing that I'm brainstorming with that is I'm trying to research drilling and mining industries, and I would imagine they'd have thermoses. And I was trying to think of different designs, like what miners would actually have,
You're telling me this coffee cup needs to have like a threading on it, because this is just the bottom of the thermos. And like you can have it modular.
Yeah. Well, it's like playing around with the whole Rise in Mind thing. It would be like, yeah. I'm like playing around with the Rise in Mind thing. Here we go. Already getting good images for people to take out of context. No, we're well, fuck, I just shut down.
Oh heck.
Oh, there goes the cat.
We're gonna
get cat action, and
he's gone, everybody.
Yeah. You guys see that?
Hold on, guys. I'm just testing these.
Yeah, there you go.
Test those. Test that shit,
guy
man.
Right there. See that guy right there?
What guy?
There's a secret bagel in the background. We don't get to see him very often.
Like a secret tunnel almost, right?
Bagel hides in the depths. Are you a good boy?
Bagel is the depths.
Are you a good boy? He's the Dinge Lord. All right. No, I like that cup though. I love the hex design. Oh, speaking of cats, I see Inky.
She is.
Oh, you know what'd be really fun to do if we could get cat cams and stick them in the tunnels.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
The cats are just crawling around every once in a while. They come into a different spot of the tunnel. Oh, Inky, good morning. Hey, Renegade, sound alert. Wow. I don't know if those are on.
They are now. The actual alert box is not up though. It's kind of buried in there. Good morning, Renegade Bundy.
Welcome on in.
We got our new shit here. The coffee cup design that I kind of I gave up on animating my own Steam and just found some.
Yeah, why not? And you've got steam, and then the steam of the other coffee cup. It's just getting steamy in here. And what's this lava, dude? Where we get that would get some hot ass coffee, dude. You better have a warning on that cup. Don't get sued like McDonald's. Old ladies pouring coffee on their crotch.
It's going well.
That shit is lava, dude. And welcome to July, everybody.
Baylor decided to be barsted. Sometimes you have to like completely.
Welcome to July.
Welcome. Cheers.
We're both born in this month, so it's going to get real weird. Once we get around our energy of where we crawled out of the primordial ooze, it gets real oozy.
You want to talk about you want to talk about how when you're born you're a baby. And
Mm-hmm.
then now, 30 years later, we're a lot larger, and we can speak, and we know a lot of shit.
So it's like the classic hit by Jean Lajoie. Started as a baby. Now look at me. Now look at me.
Now look at me.
I know, like we used to shit our pants, dude.
Oh.
So couldn't digest food. We didn't understand space and time. You know, now we're figuring out like math problems. Yeah, dude. That whole song breaks it down.
That's very true. Renegade Bandit. Yeah, babies are pretty much just parasites, willing parasites, but still fits the definition. I ended up thinking something out loud at a meeting at work the other day. Some people were talking about a person just having a baby, and it was supposed to stay in my brain, but I said it out loud. I said, people are still making those? Like in this economy?
I know that was like the fat of the Cabbage Patch. Like people just went crazy for a minute and they were done. Realized that was just a lot of work and maintenance. And nobody really wanted it.
Yeah. You can lay down right there. Your eye does look better from the medicine, though. So might continue doing that.
That's cute. Baby pinata. Yeah.
A baby pinata? Oh, man. Oh, the chat box is in the wrong spot. Heck. Pardon our dust, everybody.
Well, when we make adjustments all the time. Well, shit, we were a state. I mean, I don't know. I was a state over last week, so I mean.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if any of you guys.
That screwed up the entire layout. I should have made a whole new group for that. I was bummed. Abso opened up our OBS or whatever, and we had some settings or Streamlabs, whatever, and we had the setting for Space Viking channels, and I was like, dude, go live. Let's go live right now, and you and I can do like a Rise in Mind like mock-up thing, but she wouldn't do it. Well, you guys can, if you have like ideas for a show, we'll just have to include it in the audio stuff when we start releasing on audio.
Cool.
Oh, I wanna talk about time.
Yeah, what time is it? Time for time?
So that's actually, I love that. Okay, so it is 9:40 a.m. for you and I.
Yeah, EST.
Yes.
You down with EST? Yeah, you know me. With
Renegade Bundy in here in the chat. Renegade Bundy, what time is it for you?
Sunday at 4 p.m.
It's 11:40 p.m. So if CP, look at your floor. If you look like straight down at your floor, right?
Yeah.
Renegade Bundy is not exactly right below us. But here's a fun fact. The moon is upside down to people in Australia compared to us. And it's upside down for them if they were to come visit us.
Oh, bro, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So, literally on the other side of the world is Renegade Bundy at 11:40 p.m. Because of the way that the sun hits the Earth, humans have developed something called time zones. And because the Earth is tilted, we have seasons. And we've used all of these things to sort of measure how long we've been on the planet. I'm 34. I've had 34 revolutions around the sun.
You know what's really weird about that? You flip your birthday around. Flip your age around.
Yeah, 43.
That's my age.
It's actually Stacy's age too.
Whoa, dude.
Whoa.
I know what you're saying. Like, look at this guy, this handsome devil.
Yeah, look at this guy. This guy looks maybe 20. So
I'll do what my mom does.
This is something that we as humans need. I feel like, well, this is where this thought started. I feel like we need to redo our whole the way we measure our lives. I feel like we need to redo it because I've known people who are in their 60s that are more vibrant and more lively than someone who's a teen.
Yes.
You know, yes. And I've met teens who know so much. Like it's like they've been on the earth for hundreds of years.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I've also visually too. Sometimes people look way younger or way older. Like my dad, for instance, had this thing where he looked and acted like he was 80, but he was only, 56. He was only 62 when he died, but he acted like he was 80 years old.
The sternness of personality.
Almost, yeah. I gotta turn the music down one moment. No ozone layer. Oh my goodness.
Hot fire out there, dude. Desert City.
I want to apologize on behalf of all the American-based corporations that are causing that ozone layer to not really exist there. Sorry. Every time I buy coffee, I'm perpetuating your lack of ozone.
Hey, man. Yeah, it's all... We're trying, right?
I mean, if we all just started eating fruits and vegetables and a little bit of meat and lived in the woods and stopped buying shit, this entire system would go away.
Yeah.
Let's just stop.
If we stop
making
babies, right?
Yeah, no more babies.
You know, I was watching a thing last night.
That's true, Renegade Bundy. I just think it's an interesting idea that your country's being affected by these changes to the climate. But yeah, the ozone layer has been getting better, but that's thanks to the EPA, which they're slowly getting rid of. So in 10 years, the ozone layer should be worse, in theory. I don't know. Sorry, what were you saying, CP?
I kind of zoned it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Still kind of waking up. I was thinking about Australia. Australia is fascinating. Have you had fun growing up there, living there, just in general? It just seems like I don't know. I have a weird romantic view because I watched Crocodile Dundee hunt down a bunch of Colombian drug lords in the 80s, but I don't know. It just looks fun. Anyway, so today, what are we doing?
Today we're talking about time and how it relates to cause and effect. But Renegade Bundy being here has brought out a very interesting idea about time zones and how we do need them for our society to function. We do need a concept of time for our society to function. But I want to iterate that it is so silly. We humans are ridiculous when it comes to we have to measure everything. It used to be just the harvest, right? We would focus on the harvest. Okay, so the sun's going to be hitting the earth more during this time of year, so we need to plant all of our shit and grow it, and that was the original reason for daylight savings time. The original reason for that's kind of been debunked. There's a lot of different reasons why the daylight savings time was. But then have the harvest, and that was sort of where we would have all of our festivals, and we would gather, and we'd be like, yay, we have food now. And it used to be sort of a celebratory thing, and now time is heavily used to regulate people, and that's why I wish we didn't have so many ways to measure time, and why I wish it wasn't as important. For instance, the idea that kids need to go to school at 8 a.m. has actually been proven to be detrimental to their health and their growth, and that we should be starting school at 10 a.m.
Yeah, dude.
Because the body's not
start your day at 10.
Because the body's not actually ready, and that's why I was like, maybe we should start Rise and Mind at 10. I was doing this research, and I'm like, we should probably start a schedule of 10 a.m. because we'll probably be more ready, mentally, physically.
The only reason I start later is just so that I can have earlier. It's because it's Saturday, and I figured I'd be working more Monday through Friday, and then the weekend would be the only days that Abso and I would have, and then to get an earlier start and then be able to take off and do something with the day. That was my logic behind it. So if I feel if I'm starting in the middle of the day, then it's like when you have that mid shift, and you're like, oh yeah, now what do I do with the day? Like I gotta wait to go to work. All right, went to work, and then it's too late to do anything. Yeah, I worried about that on a Saturday, so that was my reasoning behind that. But yeah, still.
Yeah, no, I mean,
my life is still like a Rubik's cube. It's just spinning the fucking around these days.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I just more like I'm more talking about the philosophy of it. Like the starting your day early is just there's so many systems of control in our society, and I'm not going to get political. It's more just about how we have so many systems that are built just to control other humans, and some of them need to be restructured. Like leaving the like who your political affiliation is, what how you feel about capitalism, all that stuff. I don't need to talk about that. I just want to talk about how the actual structuring that we've done doesn't necessarily work for how our bodies work. Like, the sun rises and our brain goes, oh, time to wake up. And then we get up. But then there's still a boot up period, right? Like, most people need, like, some time to, like, okay, let's, like, slowly start the morning. But to wake up suddenly by a loud noise and then cram food in your face, get in a metal box that's going to vibrate you for half an hour, and then go into a gray box with very little light, and then your brain's going, what is happening? The whole time your brain's just like firing up, like, what is this? Like, I need nutrients, I need the sun, what are you doing? Like, the brain's just like in stress mode right from the get-go, and how's that supposed to be good for us, you know?
Yeah, and just like conforming to certain time.
Oh, that's like, true, Renegade Monday. That it's gonna be different for everyone. I'm not trying to be so general. Sorry, go ahead, CP.
It's like sometimes I need. You were talking about a recharge. Sometimes I just need to switch up the times, and I find a lot in the winter. I like to switch to hibernation mode. So what that does is I end up like staying up late. So it becomes like you don't have to deal with anybody anymore. You just have to deal with like you and nature because nobody comes around. Like there's ways to manipulate the schedule to completely isolate yourself too. And I've taken full advantage of that. Time is something that is, you know, a structure that is used to kind of pull us all together. And if we didn't have time and scheduling and order and like, yeah, it's like we're not all on the same page to do the 9 to 5, but if we're all expected as a team to get there and work together for a larger whole, that was the only way that it ever really worked, was to start making these rules. But the rules, yeah, they're not inherently human, but if we all went on our human desires, it would be like the cats back there, you know. Yeah. Chaos.
Well, and for
I can't just walk up and sniff your ass, dude. You know, maybe
here's another thing where time
maybe that's cool,
factors into. I want all of our viewers to think about this is a very interesting. So humans have been factually around for little under a million. We evolved, right? And then our sort of gathering and sort of building villages about 300,000 years, give or take, right? So our modern view, our modern world, like civilization, agriculture, technology, is only 20,000 of those years. People were well, granted, we only lived to be like, we didn't live as long, we weren't as healthy, but for a million years, just vibing, you know, like, and then all this technology came, and now we're trying to rewrite our genetics. We're trying to rewrite it all so fast, so quickly, and we had all this time to evolve and grow our society and like make things sort of work alongside our nature. And then in the last 20,000 years. Yeah, exactly, Renegade Bundy. We did talk about that on on our biology episode. How nature wants you dead by 40 to 60. But thanks to science and technology, we get a little bit more.
Yeah, we're pushing pushing that envelope in our favor all the time. Yeah. And it's because we manipulated time to really start to control things, to prolong our lives, and ultimately we will discover ways to become immortal
someday.
Maybe soon. It's very simple. Yeah, it's all you have to do is put the consciousness in some kind of savings. Like everyone's like, it shows how much we've changed, dude. This is how much we've changed. I think there's like, isn't Walt Disney's head like frozen somewhere?
Yeah, somewhere. I can't remember. I don't know the details.
Like,
but
I'm sorry, Walt, but you're fucked, dude. You're completely fucked. I'm sorry, dude. Like, your head's cool. Like, you got this artifact, but it wasn't about the body. It's about what's in the brain. And so the body doesn't matter. Once they figure out how to basically upload your consciousness into a USB drive and then re-upload that into a different body of matter, it's going to fix a lot of problems. It's an altered carbon situation. And for anyone who's ever like wants an idea of that, watch the first season of Altered Carbon. I didn't watch the second season. It's a Netflix it's sleazy noir, and but it's got a really good idea of like how the systems would play with that and the rich would exploit that. But I think we're very close, because as of right now, the Musk and the FDA are approving human testing on the technology. I don't know exactly what they're doing with the uploading the internet into the brain, but they've been doing things like non-human for a while, but now they're gonna go for it. And a lot of people would freak out and be like, hey, they're gonna chip us and control us. Well, fuck. We're already controlled. We're talking about time right now. We're talking about structures, and we're all conforming to capitalism, time, punching a clock, whatever that may be. There's systems of control. Talking about being chipped, this thing, yeah, it just vibrated as I picked it up. It's like, yeah, you're talking about me? Hey, I'm going to send you those targeted ads soon. We all know how it works. Yep. And we all know that don't worry about it, because at the end of the day, that being able to drop the internet into your head and know all the languages, like, hey, I know Spanish. Hey, I know, like, come on, like Matrix style, like, I know Kung Fu.
That would be pretty cool.
Like, dude, we're getting to that point, and we're also getting to the point where we'll be able to save that and, upload it if at any level of brilliance. The only thing is, it doesn't matter. It's human hubris and ego, unfortunately, because it's us thinking that we need to control that flow and pattern. I am very strong in my beliefs that there is an archetype person that recycles throughout history, and we are just versions. Whether time even has a linear sense or not, it doesn't matter. Like, there are people that are parallels, that are archetypes that represent the, like me, the outsider artist. That's the identity that I have, and that's what I push. And with or without me, there'll be another one to come along in the next time frame that
I feel
will replace. Oh, the stream's kind of.
What's going on with the stream?
I'm gonna refresh.
Oh, it is janked. Holy shit! Been happening quite a bit lately. Oh, I freaking video card drivers. I didn't realize there's new video card drivers.
Free in-game content. What are they advertising here? Well, if you get a Twitch sub with Prime, you get. Oh wow, they're really incentivizing.
I'm dropping a lot of frames. Hold on.
Prime Gaming.
Tempting. Well, it should be back now. It looks like there was just a hiccup there.
Yeah. But yeah, so regardless, whether we are the ones who are keeping ourselves living forever, if I lived forever, right, I would still, even with the world's information, I still feel like I would be a similar archetype. I feel like I would gel in a similar information. And I think time replaces us, or different versions of us, to create an energy. It's all represented on a specific energy flow. And I think human beings have figured out ways to control that for their own betterment. It's how we're evolving. I don't know. It might be the end of us, but
technology.
It doesn't. Yeah, I mean, like we talked about it earlier, and we were just talking about it with Renegade, like the ozone layer and stuff. Like the Earth can't sustain us. If we're talking about causality over time, we've multiplied, and 20 years ago there were 6 billion people on the planet.
Yeah.
Now there's 8, right?
Yeah, we're up to 8 now.
That's a lot. In 20 years, our population has grown 2 billion. So it's fair to say that it'll be 12 in the next 15 years or something. Like, It's crazy because at the rate that it's growing, and so research, causality, time. People complain about a lot of stuff. There's not enough jobs, or there's not this, or people don't do. They say all this stuff. I go, it's axis, man. It's like, it's not that there's not this or that. There's just a lot of people, and there's going to be hiccups in the way that it works with Earth.
Yeah. I mean, this is going like off subject like crazy, but I do want to talk a bit about that, because
that's causality.
It is, but what I mean is time. So one of the complaints is there's not enough land. There's enough land. It's like one of the complaints is there's not enough jobs. Like, okay, what about all of the jobs that just aren't? There's not enough profitable jobs. There's not enough jobs that actually pay you enough. There's lots of jobs. There's billions of jobs, but ones where you can actually thrive as a human being, just maybe 10 in a 50-mile radius.
It's good that we do kind of come to our senses, because the pandemic created this situation where it was like people woke up and said, I work a job, but is this job fair? And is this job beneficial? And it's thankfully that challenging viewpoint that is creating change in over time, because I was researching some of the early mining.
Yeah.
In like 1884, guy. They sent women and kids down there.
Yeah.
And they just died all the time. And they outlawed it eventually, where women couldn't mine, and kids under 10 couldn't mine. But they had lost like 126 women and children or something in this one particular area. And that's a job. So we're talking like, now we're up to a point where people are like, is this worth the quality of my life? Is this, we're a little bit more fortunate to where it's less about survival, literally about survival. I mean, it's not like I can't pay my rent, I'll end up without a home. I mean, these people were willing to make a buck at the cost of their lives. Can you imagine, like, you go to work tomorrow, right? But yesterday, your kid was working with you and got crushed by a stone.
Well, good thing I got 10 more kids.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Like, look at what we were as people 150 years ago. And it just blows my mind how quickly we have changed, what time has proven. But now we're at an advantageous point where there's so many people. The world's mechanized. This runs. This doesn't work. It could all fall apart in a second, like once the shipping stops, what is it? I just watched Jurassic Park Dominion. We're 3 meals away of total chaos. I don't know if that's fucking real science. I think that's some pseudoscience. I never heard that.
3 meals away from total chaos? What do they mean? Like, what's the context?
You should have seen it. It was like, yeah, and if shipping routes, yeah, you know what they say, 3 meals away to chaos. And then it was just a throwaway line that was just thrown in there.
Yeah.
Like it was like some Facebook feed. It was like, yeah, you know what they say, 3 days away from chaos. Echo chamber, blah blah blah. It was just stupid, dude. Like that. You want to watch something? Watch Jurassic Park Dominion. That is the funnest fucking movie ever. It is garbage, and it was great. It was great at the same time.
I've seen it. I just couldn't remember that line. I wasn't sure what the context was.
There's some woke ideology in that. When the dinosaurs start working with other dinosaurs to kill the apex predators, the 2 lesser dinosaurs rise up to take down the bigger predator. I was like, that's not how it worked, dude. And then at the end, you see the Triceratops running with the elephant.
My God.
Dude, those fuckers, that's not how nature works. I love that we're developing human ideology.
Not how any of this works.
That's not how any of this works.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show that's just what we do, and our perceptions of things, our perceptions of time. Yeah. And our perceptions of like historical time, where we know characteristics of like how the natural world and biology and science works. Why use dinosaurs as a social metaphor?
Yeah.
Like for collect. I mean, I can get like the Little Mermaid. Yeah. Something like that. Like I can get some fit, but when elephants walk with Triceratops.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It showed horses running like Brachiosaurus and shit. I was like fucking dying. Like seagulls with like pterodactyl and stuff. This shits would be ripped up.
Oh my God.
This pterodactyl is like, I just tearing guts everywhere. I'd be like, dinosaurs are back, man. Yeah. Human beings. And then I guess
shit.
Did you no wait, did you see the theatrical version or the extended cut?
I saw Hello Alley Paints, good morning. I saw the theatrical because I only saw it in theaters. I didn't watch it again after that.
Was that the one that started with it showed like a YouTube kind of montage of like dinosaurs have attacked the world, and it just shows like a bunch of like highlights?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's basically just like dinosaurs are now everywhere because humans gonna human.
So I guess they re-edited that, and now in the extended cut, it shows like the history of dinosaurs from like back in the day. And then they're like a bunch of people are at a drive-in movie theater, and a T-Rex attacks the drive-in movie theater.
Oh, that's a cool way to do it.
But it's like people are just cool with that. Like, think about that. If there's a T-Rex walking around now, you're still gonna go to the it's just still my world. This human world. I don't give a fuck about T-Rex. They're not gonna take my family's movie time away.
All right, I respectfully disagree, sir, because Tornado Alley, people, you're like your entire world gets destroyed, and you're like, I'll just build it again and stay living here.
Well, socioeconomic things where people don't. I mean, like
they can't move, or my family's been here forever, and they can't afford it. Well, maybe it'd be the same with dinosaurs. That's the argument I'm posing. Is like, maybe if there were dinosaurs running around destroying homes, destroying businesses, people would be like, I can't afford to move. These damn T-Rexes smashing my house in every. It's a lady and a moo on the news, right? These damn dinosaurs coming in, destroying my house. I guess I just gotta rebuild it again. God dang it.
Dude, I
want to see that Jurassic Park movie.
I'm just seeing this guy like with a gun shop downtown, like, fuck it, man. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. T-Rex mandate or not, I'm gonna open my store. T-Rex, no T-Rex, I don't give a fuck. I'm an American. I'm gonna make my money. I have a right to open my business. If you want to walk out, T-Rex. If you're worried about a T-Rex, you come down to my shop and I'll sort you out. That's what I'm talking about. This is America. Fuck T-Rex.
I went down.
No T-Rex masks.
I went down to the. I went down to the bank, and I tell you what, I got me some dinosaur insurance. I am good. I'm good.
Laugh about that all you will.
I'm
you can
set.
get all of that right now. You can buy all of that right now. They sell any type of insurance you can think about. You could Google that right now. You could get alien insurance. I mean, try to claim that policy when the fucking dinosaur comes in and be like, dude, I've been paying for this for like 15 years. Guy, it was a fucking joke. I've been taking your money. I'm out of here, man. There's T-Rexes, bro.
Megafauna.
Like my contingency plan was to just leave with your money.
Alley Paints coming in with my favorite type of I'm not criticizing your Alley Paints by saying this, but that is my favorite kind of buzzkill. I love the scientific facts to be like, nope, hold on. Alley Paint said dinosaurs would absolutely die off in our current world. It's really not designed to support megafauna on that scale. T-Rex would have about a week outside of a carefully controlled environment. Just the sheer amount of food they need to keep their bodies moving alone would take them out. Not to mention the dramatically cooler temperatures. Yeah, the Earth was a hot box during that time. It was warm fucking everywhere.
Allie, you must have been so pissed off with this Jurassic Park. It showed brontosaurus coming up out of the snow, all stretching out. They'd be all like frozen, like ET, all like
that's conflict.
White and dead and shit. You know.
No, Allie, don't apologize. I love that. That's part of why we do this podcast. I love shit like that. Dinos would have no concept of class conflict. No, we're more talking about the people that would continue to live. Like, say, dinosaurs carved out a territory in some place where there's people living. People would continue to build homes there because of the same ideology of Tornado Alley and tsunami and hurricane areas. Like, people continue to live in those places regardless of the destruction that happens almost every year.
Yeah, people would continue to just persist. And like I thought of the idea of going to a drive-in movie theater in a world where dinosaurs are out. Like, I would be like, yeah, I'm not really cool with that idea. But if they just randomly ended up at the house, like in the video, it shows like a little girl getting chased by some little compies, and I was like, oh, that's hilarious, because that's what would happen. It would just be some kid out in the backyard, and these dinosaurs come in, and they freak the fuck out, and then it's like, you know, that seems real, but they were kind of home. But to go out, it was all reminding me of like what happened during like basically the pandemic. I also watched the movie Jaws for the first time during the pandemic, which was a good choice because the beginning of that movie is all about like, well, it's the 4th of July, which is coming up. We're not going to shut down the beach. We make a lot of money in revenue, and we don't give a shit if there's a shark here. And it's that same idea of like, there's a lot of stakeholders always involved and stuff. And there's a lot of commitment to areas, and that investment would definitely be held up despite having a T-Rex running around like, well, we've put all this time and effort into this business or this community, and we're fuck this, you know. So a lot of times they create a polar ideology that's even more confrontational, where it's like, it's combatant to it, where it's like, they're being wimps and cowards, and it becomes insulting, and it's like, be tough and fight a T-Rex, and you know, it's like,
well, Alley Paints,
be a man and strangle a T-Rex today.
I just picture this guy in a flannel. It's a flannel. He's got a huge beard, and he's like strangling.
Like me.
Be a man. Strangle a T-Rex today.
And the T-Rex is pulling away this way, and he's like, fuck you, T-Rex. Like, be a man. We should make that. Flannel man fucking headlocking a T-Rex.
So funny. Oh my god.
Man. I'm gonna do a be a man thing that parodies like all the be a man as a kid, like when everyone did that to me. I'm gonna just send it over the top. Be a man. Fight aliens with toothpicks, you know.
Alley Paints brings up something awesome. So Alley Paints is talking about this. There's a whole series on Tumblr that has grown. It's gone to Reddit. It's on YouTube. It's all over the place. Humans or Space Orcs. This is actually a series on YouTube that I watch. I watch a guy. Well, I don't watch. I listen. It's like an audiobook almost. So humans have no concept of self-preservation. And that's why they'd keep building That's why they'd keep building their house, even if a T-Rex destroyed it.
Dude, I got a blanket right here, bro.
Because
I got a beard.
You live in
my face.
You're not part of this. You're not part of this group that we're talking about. CP. You live in New England. We're the ones out there. We're the ones out there shoveling snow. Going. There's no hurricanes. There's no tornadoes. Like we're shoveling the snow, and we're like, it's at least there's no hurricanes or tornadoes. There's no volcanoes. Like we're good. Like.
That's true.
Like we had
Mr.
that.
T doing that, saying pity the oh dude.
Oh my god, yeah. You gotta
like, come on, T-Rex.
CP, you gotta draw that.
T-Rex.
That would suit your styles.
This is the only T you fuck with. Yeah, that's great. T-Rex, Mr. T versus Mr. T-Rex. We could do a mashup there. As people have probably done that, right? T-Rex is Mr. T. I mean that's searchable for you guys in the chat. Anyway, but yeah, I like that Mr. T, fucking with a T-Rex. It's good. That's a sticker. And Renegade, if I make that sticker, we'll figure out a way to get you one for free in the mail for that idea. I know it'll probably cost me $900 to ship it to Australia, a sticker in an envelope, but we'll figure it out. I'll at least get you a digital file for your desktop. Don't let me forget about that one. That's a good one. I don't have my post-it notes here. Anyway.
So this series on Reddit called Human Space Works is about how if say humans actually do achieve interstellar travel, right? That mindset that has that old lady in the moo that's going to rebuild her house every year, regardless of the tornado, that mindset exists in all of us. So if we go to space and we have that lack of self-preservation, or more so that desire to achieve our goals regardless of the danger to us, that might be unique to our race. So if we go to space, we might be a terrifying force when other aliens look at us. They'd be like, what the fuck? These humans are crazy. You know? Mm-hmm. And I love the whole thing. So I'm going to link one of my favorite YouTube videos that is one of these stories in the chat for everyone. And I'll link it in the Rise in Mind links on the Discord as well. Just so that we can talk about that another time.
Nice. I like also Renegade brought up something Aussies live where there's both saltwater crocs and bull sharks in freshwater lakes. Yeah. So you just said the scariest shit to me ever. Like, you want to scare CP. The notion of a creature underwater that's big with razor teeth that can pull you under the water is probably the scariest adversary to me. That's the scariest shit ever. I feel I could fuck some things up or get away from stuff. A bear, no, I don't like the idea of that. But I feel like I could be like, yeah, I'll put my arms out big like Erwin used to do. You know, speaking of Australia, and get them all back the fuck up. And that works because I do live in Maine and it's forest and there's animals and I've encountered them. And most of the time they're more scared of you than you are of them. But something that's predatory, that floats in the water, that sees you, because I always want to be the one that sees them. I'm the guy who stands in the shadow of the alleys. I see you before you see me. Nope, not those fuckers. They're already at the advantageous spot of being. Whoop. So that's the scariest shit ever. You, my friend, are a fucking legend. And Mr. T wrestling a T-Rex is subordinate to any Aussie. That's some tough shit. I will say. That's scary. I just had to get that off my chest. Sharks. Whew. Scary.
Sharks equal scary. So hold on. We're gonna spiral it back into the whole time thing. So I love that you mentioned shark.
We've been talking 47 minutes. You want to just start the show fresh right now?
We're not going to start. We're not going to start it fresh. Well, we are going to go into the. We are breaking ground, everybody.
Welcome.
Here we go.
Mind, everybody.
Welcome. No, we're good. I don't care anymore. Breaking ground, everyone.
It's better than my Thursday podcast. It was an hour and 23 minutes, and there were multiple conversations going on at one point because we had the Baron pop in and 32 an hour. Yeah, check that out on my other channel for a real shit show.
Yeah, so professional. Just went to the starting screen again. All right, so we're on the breaking ground segment. Here we are.
Nobody knows. You didn't have to point it out.
They did. They saw it.
Like the way that it happened.
It was there. It was on there, man.
They don't know what's in your head.
Man,
they're not even looking at the screen half the time. They probably got like a couple windows up. They probably got like a game going. Someone's got some like lewd shit going on in the background. Someone's got like a movie. Someone's watching Jurassic Park Dominion right now, trying to be like, what are these guys talking about?
Maybe.
Because all the people in our chat, there's so many different possibilities for other avenues. Anything could be happening, right? Allie Paints is probably painting a picture of Renegade fighting Mr. T and T-Rexes with crocodiles now. I mean, the inspiration is driven throughout this channel.
Yeah.
It's just, I have the biggest faith in all of you trying to make my hair behave. Is it
paints?
Is there a lot of moisture up here in New England? We've been we live in a rainforest these days, and the sun is trying to come out and it's starting to dry out. But whoo, yeah, it's damp. So, I've been using lots of oils to get this thing to kind of stay less frizzed out.
It is damp. So
it sure was
CP
damp today.
How? Do not bite me.
TikTok, you don't stop.
No. Sorry, hold on. I'm fighting.
He's fucking with the cat again.
No, the cat's fucking with me. She jumped up here and immediately started batting me and like biting me.
When did they start doing all these little side ads that pop in, like grass fighting dry shampoo?
That's around the same time they said that we couldn't have our own ads on our stream. That's when they started doing that. That was
unlimited 5% back on Amazon.com. I get the Amazon ads because it's like an Amazon platform, but what was that fucking brass shampoo? Were we just talking about hair and it just fucking heard that?
I had to
we were just talking about hair and like conditioning. Oh, in the wet. Stop. You motherfucker. Wait. Stop. It's targeting ads in real time, guys.
It is.
I don't like it.
It will.
I don't like it.
We gave them the right to do that. We chose this.
Yeah, I know, but they're in a lot of shit right now because they've been doing it to kids and like the computer shit starting to recognize kids' voices. That's fucking.
We swim.
You can't do this. Can't be doing that shit, man. Audio is gone. Audio's gone, Viking.
Yeah, damn right. Audio's gone.
No, in your fucking. Oh, and I thought she meant in the podcast. Oh, that's Renegade.
I mean, maybe it is, but mine's telling me that it's still here.
I don't know, bro. I can hear. That's all that matters. Renegade is such a renegade. You could just read our lips, man.
Sorry, my cat is starting to piss me off. CP, tell the people a story. I got to deal with the cat.
All right, tell the people story. Okay,
tell the people a story.
Let me tell you a story about time. So, yeah, time annoys me because I'm someone who's kind of considered time blind. I didn't realize this for the longest time, that my perception of time is all fucked up. Yeah, that's me. And, a lot of us, it's 10/21. It's the first of the month. Okay, so we're starting the first of the month, and I'm someone who was born in July. Shout out Cancers. Space Wagon 42, rocking that camp too. Abso as well. A lot of the people I hang out with. Cancers, Leos, summer babies, man. So we were born in a specific time. We have an energy that seems to gel together. So there's some like weird cosmic shit. Who knows? Maybe it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. Maybe I'm just getting high on my own supply, believing in the stories I tell myself. But time ultimately to me is just a numerical system for order. But it just seems to repeat. History seems to repeat. Humanity's purpose seems to repeat. The essence of us seems to be going around and around, both for good and bad, perpetually. I don't know why, but that's it, right? We don't have to know why. It's good to know what you value, and then to figure out what to do with your time. Sometimes I find the time is just too obligatory, and I'm just doing what I feel other people expect of me all the time. And then one day I woke up and people started asking me, they go, "Hey, CP, what do you want?" I don't know if I've been ever asked that.
Pinky, come here.
That's weird. So here's my coming of middle age story, where I started to be myself finally at this time in my life. So yeah, I encourage that, man. You guys seize the day, carpe diem, time for you to live the life that you want. This says I'm passionate, loyal, and intuitive. Thanks, Cup.
What are we doing? Oh, you are passionate and intuitive.
I was just telling him a story about time. I did as you said. I was born around mid-December. It's been a long December, and Renegade Monday's born. And there's reason to rip him off a Christmas presents or whatever holiday you subscribe to. I'm glad that I was born in fucking July, because it's exactly 6 months away. So I got more presents. And Renegade Bundy got fucked over. Yeah, sorry.
Time is the indefinite continued progress of existence and events in the past, present, and future, regarded as a whole.
Are you reading a Google Google?
Yes, and it is directly related to, like, space and time are one and the same. They're together. Like, actual, like, the matter and everything in the universe is tied to time directly. The way we perceive time is limited only by the way that our brains can process the information that we receive.
Yes, Storm of Iron, you did just jump into a quantum reality. Did you bring the coffee from this morning that I already drank? Because I need some more. Please. Okay.
Oh, I actually need some more coffee, too. Fighting with my cat. I literally had like a boxing match with my cat over here off camera.
Tell me you're beating the cat.
I'm not beating the cat. She's beating me up.
My beautiful. Look at these are my beautiful.
I see
cats.
Them. I see.
This is how you manage. This is how you manage wonderful. Look at this.
You have two.
This is how you manage sweet boys.
That's the thing, is you have two cats. I have the one cat, and she thinks that I'm also a cat, and that's what I meant by a boxing match. Is that we were having our little like cat, like two cats fighting moment, and I had to sort of do the whole thing of like, hey, what are we doing? I'm trying to do my thing.
Dude,
what?
His cat thinks he's a cat.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't treat me like I'm an owner.
I don't sleep with my wife a lot. That's funny out of context, because I go down there and the two cats are on the bed, and I want her to stay with the two cats because I know she loves them. Because when I walk down there and they see me, Alpha's here, fucking out. They don't sleep with me. So look at him over there. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Oh, hey boys.
Hey boys. Oh,
Big.
We can't do that apparently.
Bagel.
It was
control I have over these animals. Are you guys seeing this?
My goodness.
Present yourselves to the chat.
Cats.
See, that's a pose. See right there's tails moving. Chi-chi.
My cat will now be calm.
See that presence?
I do. I'm getting one more coffee.
Yes. Oh, he's getting more coffee, so I'll tell more stories here. Okay, let's catch up with the chat. Yeah, you stepped into a quantum realm. Don't you just love how when you're growing up, your family asks if you want what you want for your birthday? When you say nothing, they still buy you stuff. But when you specifically tell them what you want, they don't buy it for you. Yeah, that's weird. And as you get older, birthdays get even weirder too, because then I start to feel like it gets into this obligatory sense where my mom will be like, I'm a fucking middle-aged man, right? My mom will be like, what do you want for your birthday? And I like to celebrate my birthday because I don't do a lot of like celebrating
Money.
Yeah, well, I don't actually like money because money seems like not sentimental. If you want to get me something, I would prefer it to be like something we can connect on because like that's what I'm trying to do. So in a lot of ways for my birthday, I'd like to like just go out for a meal or something. My mother started doing something that's really great though for my birthday. And she's doing this like a month in advance now.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times. So I've already technically got my birthday. She'll buy me like a shrub. Like a shrub, you know, that's like $50 or something. Like a tree or sometimes $80, like an more expensive shrub. And then I'll plant it. What's good about that is my mom's 70 years old. And when my mom's not around anymore, all those shrubs are going to be around and they're going to continue to grow. And that's kind of nice. Like that there's this thing that lives that my mother gave me that isn't an object that just deteriorates.
It lives.
Like depending on how I take care of it. And my mother and my grandmother, that was a big thing. There was they loved plants, so I love that connection. And my grandfather was a gardener, and so like any of this stuff, that's who I feel I am, and I feel like it's an appropriate thing. But yeah, it gets silly. Like, and I don't know why they do that. Absol's mom does it all the time. She'll be like, "What do you want for your birthday?" And here's the weird thing. I've noticed she has two brothers. If the two brothers ask, I mean, she's to the fucking T getting like the specific items, right? But then if Abso asks, it's a different kind of dynamic. She's, oh yeah, if I didn't get it. Oh yeah, I fucked up. Hey, let's just I was gonna take you for lunch. Why don't you just go to the hot dog cart? Like she did that one time. She's like, why don't I just go get a hot dog? Like I'm just phoning this shit in. I'm tired.
Shrubbery.
It's a different expectation. So it's it's interesting how those relationships are, and then how now you're bringing up something interesting too. How sentimental events like birthdays, being that you and I have birthdays coming up.
You have goddamn, you have we measured the sun for an entire revolution, and we go, okay, that's 1 year, and then you were born on this day, and then so you survived an entire revolution. So we're gonna mark it with a number. We're gonna go, okay, so you were a baby, so you survived 1 year. Okay, now you're 1. You survive another year. Now you're 2. You survive another year. Now you're 3. And then we continue to mark it, and we celebrate it because it's so hard for humans to survive. Living is hard. So that's why we celebrate every revolution around that burning ball of gas and dust. And it's a fascinating thing, and I love the idea of a birthday, but there's a line from Firefly that I'll never forget where River is talking to her brother Simon, and it's his birthday. And he goes, birthdays are based on a unit of time measurement of a planet's rotation around its parent star. I didn't get you anything. And then she walks away. and I'm like, God damn. Burning ball bullshit. Oh my god.
Relic, what's up?
Hello, Relic. We're doing great today.
Burning ball of bullshit.
That's the sun. It's the burning ball of...
Hey, don't call that sun bullshit, because I want it to stick around.
Sun is a mass of incandescent gas.
I want you to be bullshit for a little longer.
Yeah. The sun is a mass of incandescent gas.
Will be bullshit is not having the sun.
There's this
right.
There's a song that says what the sun is, like, really brilliantly. It says the sun is a mass of incandescent gas that burns like a nuclear furnace. That's the exact definition, but they sing it in the song.
Is that like Eminem? Will you spin rhymes for a minute there?
No, that is like the sun is a mass of incandescent gas that burns like a nuclear furnace.
Wow.
Yo.
That sounds like the beginning of some of my Sega CD games,
too. Hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
The sun. So the burning ball of bullshit.
A mark for the sun, dude.
I'm gonna give you a quote there, Renegade Bundy, because that made me laugh so much. Our our own personal intergalactic dumpster fire that brings us warmth and life. God damn, everyone today with the amazing comments. I love it.
Yeah, man. So the wittiness is distributed there. The distribution of wittiness is so thick. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say. My brain's not up to par. You guys have to run the show, and I appreciate you for fucking running the show. That's what this place is all becoming about. It's just a cool chat in a community.
CP, do you feel that birthdays are important? Like knowing that we based it on how hard it is to survive?
Birthdays are important to me because it's one of the only times I can hyperfixate and create more worth than I think I deserve. It's dark, but like I will completely and to this degree, I want to say on my birthday this year, I've become so indebted to like trying to work for a larger whole, not out of some like praise or whatever, just as a structure to feel good. And I have a lot of energy, and I'm like, how do I appease this? How do I appease this without becoming a complete maniac and running in to like the room and being like, yo, I'm fucking here. It's CP. And just jumping off things because that's what I want to do.
I need stretch.
That's what I want to do. So I have to work with a larger community, and that's been beneficial to me. But then I end up pulling myself away, like, oh, I don't deserve this, or no time for that bullshit, or that's childish. Work on this. And so my birthday, I have a lot of art related things that keep piling up in the city, like a mural touch up, a window treatment design, some mosaic tiles designs in the cracks, touch up of some of the sturgeon sculptures. And I was like, somebody asked me to go down to the city on my birthday and to help with one of those projects. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I could go down in the morning, maybe get breakfast and pop by. But then I was like, what if I devoted the morning of my birthday to doing all those projects and being like, whoever wants to come down can come down and work on stuff, and I'll be in the area. And it's seems like a nice thing to do. But then I'm like, now I'm pulling away from, I'm taking that commitment to the larger community and pulling away from the little microcosmo that's me. Because I do think it's important to sit back and maybe put on some like old music videos and reflect about a time that was different and try to think like, dude, the world's changed hugely.
That is why time is important.
Yeah.
That's why measuring time is important in general. That's true though. To reflect on the year that's passed, what we've learned, where we've gone, and then where we're going.
What, you sound like fucking one of my favorite paintings. Where we've, what is it called? It's called Where We've Gone, Where We've Been, Where we are, and Where We're Going. I'm gonna get the exact name. I think it's a Paul Cézanne painting that's featured in. If anyone's in the New England area, I know Renegade's not, but if you're near Boston has a Museum of Fine Arts, which has a lot of great Egyptian tomb stuff, but it also has this wonderful painting by Paul Cézanne. Let's see if I can. I think it's Cézanne. No, wait. Where?
Oh, we can bring it up on stream if you want to link it to me.
Sorry to take this. Just thought it was like, okay,
it's all good. That's sort of like why we're talking about time. The concept of time as it pertains to the human condition. Like that's usually how our subjects are. That's how I try to spin them. Like as it pertains to the human condition. Like it's important that we measure our past and remember the mistakes and like look towards the future and use what we've learned to better our our future. That's why the way we perceive time is important. I do want to get into the metaphysics in the deep dive. We'll get into that here in about 15 minutes or so of the metaphysics of it all.
I'm gonna grab a coffee. I want to have you bring this painting up.
Okay.
It's by Paul. It's not Cezanne. It's the same time period, and I get these confused. It's Paul Gauguin. So that's Gaugain. Lots of vowels. It's French. And he was a dude who was like married. And you want to talk about this? You're gonna love this, Space Viking.
Paul Gauguin.
This guy. Yeah, this guy goes, I'm married and I'm a lawyer and I have a family. Nope, I'm going to take off and go to Tahiti for the rest of my life, abandon the structure of capitalism in my family, and just hang out with fucking the people that live there. Generally, he was fucking a lot of the young girls.
Where do we come from?
We don't need to get into that part of it.
Where are we and where are we going? I found the image.
It's a big, long panoramic image, and it shows the evolution of life and death. Some people aging throughout it. The middle's supposed to be kind of like where they are, and the ends represent the past and present in this, and it's in this garden. But I love this. I love panoramic work. I love this is when painting started to get more graphic, not as far as violent, but like color graphic, more just about like solid colors, and it was becoming more painterly. But it's a beautiful painting. If you're ever in Boston, it's huge. Check that out. And you can have that up in the corner.
Well, I'm gonna bring it up bigger than that so people can. This way, people can.
So we can talk about it. Yeah. Bring that up. Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah. So I want
to. What do you guys think of that?
Renegade Bundy said. In D&D, you could describe coming into an area by saying, I came in like a burning ball of bullshit, firing off exploding burning balls of bullshit. Everything is on fire, and a lot of people are dead, and everyone hates me now. Yes. See, now, that would be speaking for your DM. But that is a really funny image.
All right.
I love that. That's amazing. I cast Fireball. Always cast Fireball. So let's talk about this painting.
Oh, and I love see how the corners are painted. See, this is like some of the like painting techniques that I love. So I love using a lot of these warm yellows and oranges, and then up against blue. So that's another reason I really like that, as far as like heavy contrasting. But look what he did, like how he used the top right and left corner, and he painted little. Almost like a graphic novel. There's like little descriptions and little takeaways, but it kind of frames almost like a mountain or a structure. Like, is that the light behind, or is that like protruding forward? There's a interesting push and pull dynamic, how it's pulled up against the blue. So I find that blue beside it is really competing with it. And then those figures in the front, you slide into those, and they become the bridge that connects you back and forth to those two ends of time from a visual standpoint.
Yeah.
Just from a visual aesthetic. People are like, this guy's talking a lot of shit, but no, like these are just formal characteristics. So like, I'm just breaking it down as the person who would, as a painter breaking down another painter's formal aspects.
I'm going to put this also in the Rise and Mind links for everyone to absorb.
And we might get thrown off Twitch because we have some boobs there. But I guess it's art, right?
Yeah, there's a stipulation in the TOS that says if it's art or art history, it's not going to get.
Oh, and I'm giving you that history. I'm working that history.
Yeah, you're working it right in there. So this painting is fascinating, really, because he
did reject. Yeah,
we have some amazing play with light. Like, the light sources are different for each figure.
See the old woman it starts with?
Yeah.
It actually reverses time.
We can even scroll, and there's a dog in there. Well.
Where's the baby?
I don't see the baby.
I think it's on the I think it's on the edge.
There's cats. I see why you like this painting. There's cats in here too. And there's a.
Well, it's just. Well, it was romantic. It was the thing. Like this guy gave up.
There's the
this
baby.
guy gave up his life. I think he was actually a banker.
Oh.
He gave up the system that he lived in, and he just abandoned his family, and just that whole way that they lived. He goes, "Fuck it," and he ran off, and he found a more
Gorgeous.
tribal nomadic life. He wanted to experience something simple. He just rejected this. I love that. I love people that just throw off their robes, like Francis, like in Catholicism, Christianity. It's Saint Francis
of Assisi.
You know, like just throws off his robe one day and walks into the woods, and he's like, "I'm done." Like I love that. Walden Pond, Thoreau was that guy. Like, fuck it, I'm done, and he just moves out into the woods. Like I love that. It's romantic. It's very bohemian, but yeah, he threw caution to the wind.
Actually fits with a mathematical. That's crazy. Okay, so
does it have some? Because you figure like Freud wasn't like this was 1870. So I don't know what they'd be.
The painting seems to express cause and effect more than it expresses time, which is fascinating because that's what I was hoping to talk more about today. And so if you look
it's a little more modern. It was 1897.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty good. I always used to go, how does my painting professor do that? How does he go, it's 1870 or something? I was close. I was within 20 years. Like, how would you get within 20 years? Because you know the timeline, brother, and you know how to connect it. Peter goes, Brooks just doesn't know about the painters. He knows who was Pope at the time. He knows like what the Medici were doing during the time, and so he has a way to put it all together. And he also has a background in medieval history, specifically. That's my old painting professor. So like, ask anybody. It's pretty dead on.
Here's a representation of cause and effect right here. The cause and effect diagram, lost control of car. I love this because you have a broken tire rod, stuck accelerator, worn tire pads, brake failure, fluid loss, mechanical failure, lost control. Or driver error is poor training, chemically impaired, poor reflexes, sleepy, reckless, lost control of the car. Slippery words as well as road. Oil. Rain, snow, ice, lost control of car. Flat tire, nail, rock, blowout, or glass also leads to lost control of car. If you have combinations of these, it's going to expedite the loss of control of the car. And then here's another diagram, which is interesting, is a flowchart version of it. So this is what the painting looks like to me. But instead, it's like a cause and effect of life instead of losing control of a car.
What you just showed me looks like the painting.
Yeah,
like I see it the other way, the way you had those arrows, because it's supposed to travel. It's supposed to travel, if I remember correctly, in a linear, horizontal way throughout the. You're on the horizon line. So you're supposed to go along the horizon line. And now I think because you have all this, you have the horizon line, but then you have the variables that stack around it. So I think if you look at the painting maybe that's what Gauguin was trying to do, where it's talking about variables too. Like there's a way that time linearly works in the artwork he might have crafted. And that might be through, that's interesting too. They're also sculptures.
Yeah. Well, if we go back to the painting,
because sculptures inform time too, because they're part of history, and then time they decay, so they have different versions. Oh, we have a movie trailer. I guess I gotta.
You have an ad.
Insidious, the fucking red door. What the hell?
I love how
Thursday.
I love how you call out the ads.
Bloomhouse, fucking they'll do anything.
What the fuck?
Bloomhouse will do anything.
Yeah.
James Wan's up in this. It's just a dude breathing in black. Oh man, that was scary, dude. It was like he was in an MRI and they showed a ghost crawl up him.
Yeah.
That's scary. I've been in an MRI, man. There's no room in there.
Yeah.
And they actually showed more room. They should have had it. They fucked that up.
Yeah,
lost opportunity.
So
way to be insidious.
Are we back? The ad done?
Yeah, we're back. So
this painting.
Where's the horizon line?
This painting is describing. I'm kind of tracing it right here. This painting is showing actually a great tragedy. Tragedy. So.
Oh, there's the baby, the child in the bottom.
Yeah. So the great tragedy about time and how we perceive it is that we are, because of our biology, we are stuck experiencing it linearly. And this painting expresses that perfectly. The cause and effect. We're slaves to cause and effect. We cannot step out of that realm of cause and effect.
I realized something about this too. Wow. Go on.
Every action you take, if it leads to a drastic life change, you can't go back and undo what you did. And even if you could go back and undo what you did, it wouldn't play out the same way because we're stuck in a linear path.
Yeah.
And the people involved will change. The environment might change. Like, say you go back and you change your decision in some way, you are essentially making two decisions, and one of them was trying the decision once, and the second time is trying it twice. But the environment, the time, the people involved in your life, that will change because you can't go back and go to that exact moment ever again. That exact moment is gone. But physicists, and now we're getting into the deep dive. Physicists love talking about time.
Let us go into the
deep in physics. What we have is time is not linear. In physics, in the math, whenever they have to break down the math of how the universe actually works, time is happening all at once. Like the past, present, and future is all happening all at the same time. That's the only way they've been able to make quantum mechanics work. Is if they start to quantify time that way.
And that's why I think a lot in my beliefs with the archetype, because I feel like if time isn't linear and if it is layered, then if we're a specific archetype like the dreamer, then the dreamers all exist all at once. They're an energy. And so it might be Jesus, it might be John Lennon, it might be Martin Luther King, it might be just these people who speak out, and a lot of times are killed for it.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of them were.
It's an archetype, it's a human response, but it's also adversity to change. And so these people are willing to be advocates for change. And I think that's a specific energy that is just part of the world, and it goes in and out of people. So if time isn't linear, and Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't before me, and John Lennon wasn't before him, and Jesus before him, and you go into all these different people who are promoting change and being ostracized, you can find the line. But what if the line just goes poof and it's all stacked on top of each other? They're part of the same thing, just different versions.
Well, the Doctor Who actually described it the best out of everything I've ever heard.
I ain't seen no Doctor Who. I don't know what that is.
So, you don't have to see it. I'm going to look up the exact line for everyone, so we don't have
everybody goes, CP, you'd love Doctor Who. Yeah, quantum physics and time. Yeah, I know. I don't give myself everything I deserve.
You would love Doctor Who. I'd say start with the late 90s Doctor Who, and you'd love it.
I'm gonna start right back in the 60s, dude.
Go ahead. It's the pacing is different. The pacing is drastically different for the old. So
watch all of it.
The quote from Doctor Who is, "People assume that time is a strict progression from cause to effect. But actually, from a non-linear, non-subjective viewpoint, it's more like a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff." And I'm like, yes, that's exactly it. When I heard that in the show, I was like, yep.
And so, like, as we've said before, Rise in Mind, we are not learned doctors. We're not professionals. As you can see, today we are quoting the great Doctor Who.
Well, he's actually describing why time travel is possible.
Where the fuck did he get his medical license from?
He's a doctor. He's a real doctor, guys.
The WB?
Who did he get it from? Who?
I don't...
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Who?
The who's who?
We're turning into owls here.
Did he get it with Doctor Strange too? Were they roommates in college? Doctor Strange and Doctor Who?
Yeah, they both got their doctorate. Doctor Strange is an actual doctor, though.
Oh yeah, he fixed me with a rotator cuff surgery. Yeah, right.
Well, no, he did. He was a surgeon in the story. That's why he's called Doctor Strange. Yeah, it's from a story, but the reason he has the moniker Doctor is because of
technically been around Pumpkin Patch is Doctor Who, and he is not going to do surgery on me anytime soon.
Benefactor Butterscotch is a fantastic actor, and I think that he really portrayed that well in that movie.
Well, Ben 10 Butterscotch can fucking take his shit elsewhere, because I'm not I fucking broke you. Oh, I love seeing that on the repeat. I think we got a clip. We got a clip for today. 124.
I got it. I got it. I'm pressing the button. Oh my goodness. That fucking A. Oh,
I like that one.
So he's a real
Ben 10 Butterscotch.
I like Benedict Cucumber Patch in those movies. Yeah, Relic. So
there's so many.
If we
I wish I had a cool name.
You do have a cool name.
Wow.
All right, so we're gonna dial it back a little bit.
Rise in Mind. Right, we're in the deep dive.
Rise in Mind. We're in the deep dive. We got some time left in our subject matter here, so let's go even deeper. So, time perception is even stranger than the idea of time not being linear. So they actually, if you are in a adrenaline fueled state, you will perceive time completely differently than someone who is in a relaxed state. And that is actually relative to where you are. This was proven by many scientific experiments. They drop someone off of a 20-story tower into like a soft landing thing that they would use for movies. I can't remember what they're called. A net of some kind. And then they synced a watch to that person before dropping them. The actual time on the watch changed. The milliseconds were different. It was like it was minuscule, but it was measurable. That the time perceived wasn't just perception. The time relative to that person actually changed because of them perceiving it.
Seconds are immeasurable. You got me all sidetracked. Like you were saying a lot of I was starting to spit a hot fire rhyme in the background.
No, do it up. We'll get a rhyme. We're gonna rap going.
No, I that's cool though. I like that. We're gonna get some hot fire tracks here.
Yeah. The measurable change of the time and fraction, measurable change of the time that we perceive.
Could have said reaction.
No, see, you're training me now. The measurable time of the time reaction.
You actually have more time than you'd like when you rhyme, because you think of it in 4/4 and you think of it in the bars. You actually have like usually that time is pretty. A lot of people want to rhyme quick all the time. Here's your rhyming lesson for the day because it goes dun dun. Tss. That's a snare. You want to hit your rhyme on those snares.
Yeah.
Those sounds.
When is
like
it?
You want to hit it usually on the second one, and then usually the rhyme will come back around on the fourth one. So the easy way to rhyme, you got it's 4/4, so dun dun tss, dun 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 tss, dun. So and then you got that snare. So you want to hit that rhyme on that second snare. So usually you have a lot of time. Like I'm Space Viking, and I'm here to say that I'm coming all the way. That's why when they rhymed slow back in the day, that's how they were figuring it out. But then it became about flow, and that's a whole other thing. You just get that timing, second and fourth snare, man.
Yeah,
and you can rhyme on every snare. You can put a rhyme word on every snare, but then you start sounding like Eminem or some shit, and it's like no shade on him. He's got some dope rhymes, but like
that actually did sort of that connected some dots in my head with spitting bars, because I had some coworkers when I worked at the Mount Washington Hotel. They were trying to teach me how to rap, and I actually wrote some raps back in that time that came out really well. I didn't know how to deliver it though, and you just taught me how to deliver the actual. I could write it.
See, we could probably work together because I don't write shit, and when I write shit, I actually memorize it. But do the pizza and stuff was all just I can improv because I have a natural metronome in my head, so I'm on the beat, but I don't always have the shit to write with. So then Space Viking's like, "You gotta stop just talking about dicks." And I'm like, "Well, that's just my default. Yeah, I default to dick. I'm just rhyming along."
I hope that didn't. I hope that didn't insult you. I just,
dude. I've been hearing it for 20 years. It's just me being ridiculous. It's me being ridiculous. And it's gotten better over the times, but you should have heard.
Yeah.
Abso first met me when I'd spit a freestyle, it sounded like fucking 3-6 Mafia slob on the knob.
We're
on the cob. It was really.
We got the mature tag, so you can spit off some of that if you want.
I know, but it would just be like it's sexual in nature, and I was like. When I first started, I was like in my 20s, but you want to seem like a little more smart, and then people would be like, yeah, you could. And then I was getting into my 30s, right? And then people would be like, you could work with my jazz band and do freestyle rhymes. People said this, they go, you could freestyle over my jazz band, which I was terrified over, like 28 and stuff. And I was like, yeah, sure. But you got to clean it up. That's what they'd say. You got to clean it up. You got to write some cerebral stuff. And I'd be like, oh man.
But what? I wanna.
I can't just say dick and balls.
I wanna stutter here for a second. I think it's Giza is his name from Wu-Tang Clan.
The Jizza.
Giza. He actually has a degree in physics or astrophysics or some sort of. I know it's something astronomical. But he has
nerds, man.
He has a whole album where he raps about the universe and our place in it, and he doesn't keep it 100% clean, and it's still smart.
Listen to the Wu-Tang Clan. I would suggest that for you a lot, just because they are New York nerds, and that generation, which they're more Gen X, they were raised a lot watching kung fu films. Yeah. So their whole Wu-Tang Clan and their style was all based on a lot of those films, and it is very nerdy and fantastic. And Run DMC, Daryl, not Daryl, DMC, he's Daryl. He was rhyming about comic books and stuff. He didn't want to rhyme about necessarily I don't think there was really thug kind of stuff then, but he wanted to keep it more comic nerd. And then MF Doom.
MF Doom.
That's one of 32's favorite.
I listened to something.
It's very nerdy. Though that's early nerd stuff when it wasn't its own genre. When it was just in the mainstream flow. There's a lot of stuff that is very geeky across the board. Anyway,
so I think when they say
Clan ain't nothing to fuck with, is that's what they say, and they're absolutely right.
When you clean up these raps though, like I think that's what the reason I brought up Giza is that I think that you can clean it up, but you don't have to 100% clean. Talk about some
the thing is, a lot of this is a response to experience and culture, and hip hop was created as out of poverty. It was mixed DJing was taking pre-existing music and turntables and figuring out ways to make music out of things that were already around when people didn't have a lot of access to that. And then people realized like, oh, I could rap over it too and be an MC and use my voice. And it was just this thing that was accessible. And then it became a way to get yourself out of poverty. These people were making, millions of dollars. They were becoming famous and whatnot. So in that early stage, I had to remember what I was getting on with the point of that. The early stage, it wasn't supposed to be generally accessible to everybody. The language.
So
the slang.
It was almost like a against the system.
It was less for us. We marketed and simulated it. I say is less of us, less for like white men.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
It's supposed to be a thing that's like it's regional, like, and I think to this day, when you hear different types of like new forms of hip hop, and people be like, "Oh, I don't like." Even when people were shitting on like mumble rap and stuff, and I go, "What is a way to keep a community and to keep something in a culture that doesn't make things naturally accessible?" Because I know what I loved about growing up in this time around all the boomers and stuff was like, "Oh, that's not music. That's just like this, yo," and they'll say like what they would pick up from it would be the MC trying to find the beat. Because when you hear people like, yo, yeah, okay, a lot of that's trying to get your voice on the beat. And that's why they say that. But see, they don't understand that. And then a lot of people would be like, oh, they're only saying like this word over and over again. And it's like, no, they're rhyming the word in front of it.
Oh, yeah.
With it too. And they're rhyming that word. So they're taking those two words and making one bigger word. Hey, that word didn't rhyme. No, because they rhymed the middle syllables of those words. And then it's like, people don't understand that it shows the inherent flawed like viewpoint of people when I would have these like white people, especially in my own generation, be like, well, they're only saying this. I go, you're demeaning it. Yeah. You're making it seem like it's less than it is, because you don't want to say that it's being creative in an art form. You're latent and like unknowingly being racist. It would expose that in people. Yeah. And then they never figured it out. And then they just moved into a conservative viewpoint. But I was able to target people when they were really young and start to know people's ideologies before, because of things like that. And if I can do that, well, they invented the shit. So they probably have all kinds of methods but yeah, I always love it when people like, yeah, it's this, that, and they have these opinions. It's because it's not for you, dude. It wasn't made for you. The language isn't made. You can't read it. Like, what does this name say? I can't even read it. Like street names and tags. It's like, yeah, it's not for you, dude. It's code, man. Yeah. It's creating. It's unfortunately the fucking code got sold and now it's homogenized and people get it. But it could have been like an underground code, Yeah. Because these were people who were dealing with fucking underground codes because they were freeing themselves from slavery and underground railroads and shit. Like we fail to see this stuff that was just the part that they were living. Like they were really living just in the last 100 years, hiding out and shit, man. It's crazy.
So now we're getting we are now seeing like their expressions of their culture, and it is awesome stuff. And we're and people like you and I are learning. Like we're learning all this, and it's like, oh, this is really cool. And we're trying to do it the right way. We're not trying to appropriate. We're not trying to like diminish or to steal, so to speak.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And but
in a lot of ways, that's probably why I never really performed and got out there, because it's like I always felt a little odd about like
that guy.
You could be Yeah.
I think that guy I showed you also had some of that. You can hear it in some of his lyrics, even the E double guy that I told you guys about and showed you some of the music.
Oh yeah.
He also is a white male, and he also some of his music talks about how he even has a song where he mentions similar stuff to what you're talking about. How this wasn't meant for me, but I'm doing my best. He like even has a song where he talks about that. Because there's one called
Eminem put it on the nose.
There's a whole
back in the day.
His whole album Two Tone Rebel, like just the name of the album. Like you can hear it in the name even.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, where he's just like he's doing something that he feels like he shouldn't do, but he still wants to do what he wants to do. Like it's what he likes doing.
I'm trying to figure out the exact line, but it was like Eminem said, "I am the worst thing since Elvis Presley to do music so selfishly," and like or something like that. And he talks about alludes to that a little bit, and he does talk about that because Eminem acknowledges the fact that he is the Elvis for a generation, and he was, and that's why he was hugely successful. He has an amazing skill to rhyme, and he was highly marketable. But at the end of the day, he does acknowledge that, much like Elvis Presley, white people have been used as I don't think conduits, maybe that's a good word, but a person to deliver the Jesus Christ figure for whites. Basically you have so what happened is you have a culture that's really popular, right? And like when Elvis's time, jazz and the blues, right? But they're like, how can we market this to more of the people with money or white people?
Oh, yeah.
So Elvis becomes the white black representation, where I'm gonna be a little bit in the culture, but I'm still white on the outside.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then like women were like, they were very much repressed, and the sexuality that was coming from that music and that culture through Elvis, they lost it. It showed how like repressed they were, and then why they'd blow up, and he became like the sex symbol. Yeah. Well, Eminem in the same way. I secretly, here's a little bit about me. In Maine, I secretly listened to a lot of rap for years. And why I say secretly, because this fucking shitty state in the late 80s and 90s, people weren't cool with that. They were like, why are you listening to rap music? Like it wasn't cool. And I was like, true. Yeah, I like it. And like you'd get ostracized of that. Maine has a history that goes even further of why there was so much racism in the early 20th century. It was the setting up of Ku Klux Klan to persecute Catholics. I think I've talked about this before, and some of that has stayed, and it's dissolving. But you could see that it was definitely there in the young folks, and when I felt like I couldn't do that, and then one day Eminem came out.
Yeah.
And then everybody started listening to it. And the heavy metal stuff, like the Limp Bizkit, Durst kind of stuff.
That was that was almost like part of the reason that Eminem sort of was, I don't want to use the term allowed, but like we had a lot of that coming in, where you'd have mixtures of rhythm and poetry with rock and heavy metal and hard rock, and then you'd have it mixed with pop. It'd be mixed like popular music as well. Country even was starting to experiment with it, and then here comes Eminem going, "No, I'm doing straight up rap," and everyone lost their mind, and it's like, but there was a build up to it.
Yeah, so speaking back on that buildup, I mentioned Run DMC.
Oh,
Run DMC they were the people that started the rap rock hybrid in the 80s. They did a couple things. Most iconically, do you know Walk This Way they did, Aerosmith collaboration.
Yeah.
And they did a collaboration with Steven Tyler where they did a rap rock thing back then. And then the song that they do, Tricky, you know, rock around the clock is tricky.
That's right.
It's tricky. What the backbeat is My Sharona.
Right. You know, that's right. Yeah.
So they were starting to experiment with like rock beats and collaboratively putting together like rock and rap then. And it didn't take off. Right. It took a while, and it definitely worked, but it worked as a way to bridge the gap between main metalhead people in my experience, and then like the rap scene, bands like Korn, Limp Bizkit, they were really pushing that. But Eminem was the Elvis. He was like, hey, let's get this guy out here and open up the market. And as soon as they did, and Dr. Dre, man, they all knew this shit. When they put him out, it was just like, we're going to get so rich off this.
Yeah.
Because there's a market that's just buying Metallica CDs and Nirvana, and Kurt Cobain just died, and let's go. And it fucking worked.
Yeah, and now we're what, 40 years, almost 40 years past those movements when it first like really started.
I think just turned 40. So speaking of that, hip hop, that's what we've seen within a 40-year, and we've seen history repeat itself. Like, just in the 1950s.
I know this is a stretch to tie this into our subject. I love this subject in general,
dude. Like,
but it is like
time repeating. Elvis and Eminem are the same archetype for a generation in the consumer world.
That is tied
30 years apart.
That is tied directly into our way that we are forced to perceive time, our limited way. Archetype. You're right about the archetypes, though. Like the it almost fits in with there's this theory, and it's only a theory because I feel like it's a little bit reductive. What I mean by that is it sort of makes it too simple for it to. I don't feel like it actually factors in enough stuff. But there's this idea of the 80-year cycle. Instead of generations, instead of thinking about things in generations, you think about things in an 80-year cycle, and then there's four segments to that 80-year cycle, and then there's the awakening. And then at the very end, the fourth segment is conflict. And the time period that we're in right now is a conflict, a crisis period. And we had, at the very beginning of our 80-year cycle, was after World War II. We had a huge economic boom, right? And then during that time, the other two segments, I can't remember what they're called, so forgive me. The two middle segments are when we have massive shifts in media and like music and movies. And where we have the culture starts to change. Let me look it up because I need to. Seems like this might be important. So 80-year cycle. There's segments of time, like 20-year segments of time.
Well, you know what I don't like too about the theory that throws me off is that I think the one thing that happened at the end of the World War II was the beginning of the weapons. Industrial complex, like where we started making a lot of money off war, and then the consensus times and homogenization. A lot of that I think more aligns with consumerism, where that is the beginning of a cycle of we're creating we're creating a cycle within a cycle because we've created an ideology, and that cycle is going to start working different than the other cycles of time. So I'm wondering.
Yeah. It's also, this theory is also based on American. It doesn't account for other countries. Let me just look at the image up so that there's a visual. There's other ways to talk about it too. Oh my God, that's funny. That the painting from the World War II museum just popped up in this. That painting of the flag. At Pearl Harbor. That's funny. We just saw that at the museum. The reason I wanted to talk about time is part of us going to the museum too. Like, it got my mind going about like this shit just seems.
Yeah.
Let me find that. I just had it. It just was bringing up the wrong link. Doesn't really load. So
Viking.
So,
Failure.
it's not what? Hey. Stop it.
Bagel, it's okay, bud. He'll get it.
Oh, Bagel's having a rough go of watching me flounder here. The image is right here, but it's not coming up as high definition enough to see it. It's a podcast. There we go. Okay, so the high, it's a high, awakening, unraveling, and crisis. And these are 20-year segments. Our history block, 1946 to 1964 was rock and roll TV, space program, jets, Corvette, Mustang, and it has bikini in there as a view of a high period. And then the awakening,
of course it was. Yeah. Can you imagine the time the bikini came out?
Yeah.
When women started showing that midriff?
Oh my God, no.
Dude.
I can't believe they focused on that for this. So
boner time is what that was. Gidget came out, dude. Fucking Sally Field and that bikini, and people are like, whoa, the world's different. Men are going to be controlled for the next 20 years. It was the beginnings of feminism.
The awakening.
How to control us.
The awakening is 64 to 84. Bob Dylan, Beatles, LSD, Woodstock, Kubrick, Star Wars, and computers. Unraveling.
What is this fucking... What guy in the park made this? This looks like some shit you buy for like $3.
It was
some dude tripping balls.
It was an infographic video where he's writing on a whiteboard.
Oh, okay.
So, Unraveling, 84 to 08. Berlin Wall, Cobain, ODB, NWA, PELA riots.
Wait.
OJ.
What are we looking at?
9/11. Right here. The Gulf Afghan Wars. And the crisis 20-year span. The 08 financial crisis. Political divide, COVID-19. 40 million jobless. In this, if you actually go back, there's another image that it'll take too long to look up. There's another image where this happened before. This is why this is a theory in the first place, is that the cycle happened before. The previous crisis before 1946, what was that? World War II. And then leading up to the 80-year cycle before that was World War I. The 80-year cycle before that, Civil War. The 80-year cycle before that, Revolutionary War. It's like it's happened consecutively every 80 years. And it's like, are humans just cyclical beings? We're so trapped in our...
It's the same pattern for a long time.
Exactly.
We don't deviate much from the timeline that we've created, is what I found.
Oh, for real.
And yeah, this is really interesting stuff. Like put some of this stuff in the Discord too, because I do further explanations. I want to like cross-reference some of their you
refuse to learn
things.
Well, that actually ties in perfectly to what we were talking about before, Burning Monkey. Humans don't really have this idea of self-preservation. It's me. It's my survival over others, and then it creates this cycle of this 80-year cycle. I feel
Burning Monkey, it's because learning sucks. Like that's the problem. Like
learning sucks.
I'm realizing I'm a learner. I would rather raw dog the world. Just go in there and be like, let's do this, and then figure it out as I go along.
Yeah.
Because that's the not neurotypical brain that I have with the ADHD, right? So, but there's a whole divide of people that are on the complete opposite side, much like politics, much like religion.
Yeah.
So I think the ebbs and flows are the distribution and changing of energy of where it's like, all right, it's an awakening, or whatever, but it's just because certain people are being not overly to a negative, but just being more vocal in their attempt to be like, all right, guys, we've been shooting each other in the fucking face, and I'm not going to deal with it anymore. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to deal with it, even if I get shot in the face. And that's what happens. Frustration. And then you start to see change, and then like when things are really crazy, don't you need a couple days off? It's like, think of the larger picture thing. If you like spent your life starting out in war or ending it in war, then you need a break. You need to get away from that.
Yeah, it's just hard. That's a good way to put it as well, Burning Monkey. Yeah, learning sucks, but only in that it's hard.
Well, and what I find is a lot of people are referencing too much. And I find that to be problematic because you want to create something that's original, but there is nothing that is original. So referencing is the only way to really be original, is to reference everything. And that's where I'm starting to realize is, how do I reference everything? And then that's my angle. Maximalist. All. And so
Renegade Bundy says, I hope 2029 is finally going to be a good year. It says 2028 is when we'll have the peak of the crisis cycle. If we go by this,
we're gonna get you know what that means, though? That means it's gonna be fucking crazy from here on out, and I don't kind of want that.
For about 6 to 7 years, we're gonna have like a absolute shit show of a society, and then we'll have another high right after that.
I think we're in the pattern of the 70s, so we're on the verge of another civil war.
Yeah, I think that's what could be as well.
That's what upsets me the most. We're in the middle of a civil war actually right now, as far as I'm concerned. I still think black, white, gay relations, all these, trans relations, all these things are just not gelling. And there's too many people. There's people that are like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. There's people like, yeah, I'm 100% in support of this. But then there's so many people that are just like, yeah, fuck this. Don't change me. I'll fucking change you. And I don't like that, because then that's where violence happens, which it happens all the time. And then when is enough enough?
Wars are
random acts of violence are gonna have to stop, or we're gonna have to, or people are people are gonna either be super armed all the time, like shoot me, I'll shoot you, or they'll be like,
here's the thing:
like soldiers everywhere, and I don't want that either. I don't want either of those realities.
Well, not only are we headed towards a peak of a crisis point, we also have a drastic change in the way that people fight and wage war and wage sort of conflict. It has changed drastically. So it's not going to look. Yeah. It's not going to look like
cancel war.
Well, it's not going to be. Yeah. What it's going to be is, it's going to be political. It's going to be movement. People don't actually want to hurt each other in the ways that we used to. There, of course, are going to be roving bands of militiamen who are out of shape and overweight, working in an office every day. And there's going to be maybe one or two of them that could run a mile. Have you seen these pictures of these militiamen, right? It's not going to go down how they think it's going to go down.
I love when you're the militariness and you seethes out,
But it's just.
Have you seen these fucking pussies? Have you seen these fucking pussies? That's just like.
But I'm not. I didn't say that.
He's transforming slowly into Arlie Emery.
What it is I'm looped in with that. I'm not going to be running in the woods with a gun. I would last like a day doing that. I'd be like, nope, this is stupid.
No running gun for Viking.
Don't need it.
What are you going to do?
You don't even need it. You find the best hackers in the world, and you put them in a room together. And then you take it all down in a day. You could take the entire system offline in a day if you have a room full of the best hackers. Like it's not gonna go down how they think it's gonna go down. It's gonna happen overnight, and no one's gonna know it's even happening until it's too late.
I live on a dead end road, and I'm getting to know my community. That's what you got to do, guys.
Well,
we're gonna gate off the end of it, and then you're
that's
not coming up this road.
That's gonna be the high. That's what I'm talking about. It's like that once it's all over, once the smoke is cleared, so to speak, it is going to be your community that you connect with, and new governments are going to form, new societies are going to form, and that's going to be the next high. And I think we need to stop being afraid of that. Like, it's going to suck for a while, but has it worked before? Has what we've been trying worked? I don't think this experiment is working. I think we need a redo.
Reset.
But that's my personal opinion. I'm not trying to push my opinion on anyone. And there will be gunfights. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not trying to say there's going to be no gunfights.
This guy goes, there will be gunfights. There's a fucking gunfight every day, bro.
That's what I'm saying. That's part of what I'm saying. Is that there's already
people worry about a lot of shit, but they don't realize the reality is always going on. Like, well, we're gonna get to a point of civil war and people are gonna kill each other. That happens every day.
Already happening.
Every day in America, man. Like, I swear, at least somebody's blasting somebody. You know, and usually it's white people shooting people who are fucking not white or not hetero, and that's
So
and those people aren't representatives of me as a white face. Those are people who sit alone and hate people, and then go, "I'm going to do nothing with my life." Oh wait, maybe I will do something today, and that's the extent of them. They want to promote chaos. They don't want to be part of it anymore.
Yeah,
because they're pussies. Because the truth is, to be a real person, it's hard. And you have to make sacrifices, and it's stressful.
You have to make choices.
To do the right thing, it isn't going to be easy. To do the easy thing is for me to just go down the hall and go to sleep.
Yeah.
And just be like, forget it. But to get out and to start like talking to this guy and to be like, all right, this now is just, the quarry's not coming in, but we've got a solar farm and we've got like a corrupt city. And well, I don't want to deal with this. It's exhausting.
CP.
Or
are you how do you feel about a quick break?
Yeah, I gotta piss.
Yeah, me too.
Quick break.
Yeah, guys. Again, this is all just me being a little bit doomsday. Like, I feel like this could happen. Doesn't mean it's going to, and I'm not trying to sway anyone's opinion one way or the other.
The world ends and begins every day. Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. And
someone's born, someone dies.
I'm like, right? I don't want to. The main thing is I don't want to alienate anyone. I don't want to make anyone feel scared. I don't want to be a fear monger. I just like, and again, we're not experts, but I just love pattern. I see patterns, right? And we have an example of it with this 80-year cycle. And if this cycle is real, if this actually is accurate, we are headed towards something that's a big change at the very least. Like leaving all the fear and the hate and the destruction and killing out of it. If there's no hate, destruction, or killing, there's still a big change on the way if this is to be believed. And that's interesting in and of itself. Like, big changes can be scary. One moment. All right, we'll be right back, guys. Hello?
It's time for the breath of fresh air.
Welcome back. We are now going to do Breath of Fresh Air. We had quite a long break there, as CP was saying.
And then we had a break where we talked, where you just were like, wait, what?
Yeah, the mic wasn't even working. So those of you who stayed throughout the break, thank you so much. We're now back, and we're going to be doing the Breath of Fresh Air. I had to go suddenly because my mom was there, and like I know I didn't say goodbye to CP properly. I was just like, oh my god, I gotta go, okay. Because I had both had to go to the bathroom and greet my mom. And then I had to...
and then...
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. And then I was losing stuff, and then I realized, like, there's certain things, if I lose them, I feel, like, not grounded. And then I realized my dad is a child, and I was raised by a child. And when that happens, we become children. Because we're locked in the point where we think we're children, don't actually deserve things the adults because we are subordinate to the elders.
Yes.
And I just realized that in a moment where I'm like stressed out, and it's like, yeah, it sucks. Like those things default in, and I realize my father, much like when I get upset too, it gets very whiny, and it's like, oh, it's because we're turning back into those kids that are trying to be like, well, can I have a thing? I can't have anything. Well, this is bullshit. I don't get anything. Fuck me. And then it starts to become like, you realize like you're enslaved by the elders in your brain because they put that there. You're subordinate. We own you. you work for us. And so in a way, I work for some dead people. That's pretty fucked up. Now, put that to time. CP's working for a dead man. What? That doesn't make sense. And you look at that Paul Gauguin painting, see that elder that started the world. See them alone, scared, not understanding the world, realizing that their timeline, their end is at the beginning of our beginning. So we're all perceiving world different depending on how much time we believe we have left. Right. That elder realized they have not much time left and they're not part of a world anymore. They understand. But inherently, those people are creating the world based on them, even though their time is over. In fact, like in my context, I might still be representing those even after they're gone.
Hey now.
Don't dream it's over. Yeah, don't let them shove the wall between us, man.
The breath of fresh air going to be. I do want to touch on what you're saying because I just hugged my mom, right? She's ADHD as hell, and I see it all the time. I see it in the fact that I'm in the middle of my podcast. She's like, "Hello," and I'm like, "Mom, my podcast." She's like, "Is that today?" I'm like, "It's today." it's every Saturday, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" I do this to her too, though. Like, I can't be mad.
Yeah, no,
like,
I do that.
I can't.
I've realized that I've created a relationship around people who are in the same thing. Like mom will just pop in, and in today's world, that behavior, I mean, you might know this firsthand. Like, yeah. I used to think it was okay to just pop in to a house. And now, in today's world, especially today's post-COVID, that is a way different reality. And with the technology to kind of text or not, people don't want to be surprised, right? Like they used to. And I used to kind of like that, like when people would pop by, but also created a massive sense of anxiety that any time someone could pop by. So my standard of my living has to be pristine in case a random person stops by. So it's kind of stressful for me with my personality type that someone could always pop by. And I like it more that, hey, I'm a call first. And that's really not allowed, as people just don't pop by, and I don't pop by anymore. But growing up in the 80s and the 90s, mom would just drive over to people's houses. Dad would just drive over to people's houses unannounced and show up. They'd go to places like a garage. My dad would go to a garage and he'd walk in and be like, "Yeah, I need an appointment," like right in the middle of. And then I tried to do that like years later. Like I had some kind of authority because I thought that's how it was done. And people were like, "Yeah, you need to like call ahead," and like they corrected me, but they didn't correct my dad because I guess it was just
normal for him. Normal for
you're
him.
Old. Yeah, that you're old. Well, you're old, and old guys do that. The old boomers just pop in, but our generation is like phased that out.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So I was raised by people who were actually teaching me the wrong thing by today's standard of living.
And they learned from flawed beings as well. But they changed it up. They changed it up to like make it more right, but it was still wrong because like progression, right? Like you're learning that was bad, and now you have your own version of what you think is right. And just for sake of argument, like say you had a kid and you were teaching them your way, but
I got a cat.
Like, do you know if your way is the 100% healed way, or is there going to be even more progression and more learning if you're another person down the line?
I realize I crave more spontaneity.
Yes.
And that's why I'm finding friends like you to where I could maybe introduce that in the future to be like, let's go do a thing, you and I, and then like see if it actually just happens randomly, right?
Yeah.
And we kind of do that, you and I, and it doesn't always make sense. Like we were doing that this weekend. We were like, let's just go to a hardware store. And I think our buddy Lumberg came along, like, what are these guys actually doing here? Yeah. And I think I was like, yeah, because it's a spontaneous thing that makes sense then, but like most people wouldn't just do it to do, but people like us would. And Lundberg, I miss that in a lot of people.
Yeah, Lundberg brought up a good point though. Like any of the pictures of stuff we were getting pictures of, we could have got on Google and then just made like an inspiration board.
I know, but that's a very contemporary view of things, and we're doing. We have to touch stuff.
Yeah.
Like
I want to make things into an experience. I want everything to be an experience. I don't want to just look it up on a computer. You know, it's more efficient. Yeah, I could have my vision board made from pictures that I got online. Sure. But did I have a good time? Did I create memories? No.
Yeah.
I want things to mean something, and I don't feel like anything really means anything if you do it all online. It's just pixels on a screen then.
And I was talking, it's funny enough, I was talking to a boomer that I've been working with on my design committee in the city. New, and we were talking about tile. And I was like, well, let's just run up to Home Depot and see what they have. And he's like, well, they're not going to have they're going to have different stuff online, and you could probably look online and see everything they have. And then most of the stuff you're going to want is going to be special order. And he was playing that. And I was like, yeah, but let's just go up there and like be around it. And then we went around it and we felt different material. We were holding different pieces of tile. We saw what was there. We saw relationships between tiles and light in real space. We started to see which tiles felt stronger. And there was just different stuff. And we started to come up with different ideas. So the space was dictating what we were experiencing more than us dictating where we're going. So when you search for stuff on the computer, like it's not the same experience. You're controlling the timeline and the rhythm of it. You're creating the direction of it. You're creating these aspects, but it's also co-creating it with you, because when you click on blue tile, the code's going to figure out you want more of that. You want more of that. And it's just going to start directing you.
Yeah.
And echo chambering what you already want.
I do feel like
what's out generally for everyone.
A lot of these algorithms don't actually function the way the human mind does. It's like, I looked at swim shorts because I'm going to go camping here in a couple weeks, and now suddenly I'm looking at all the swim shorts. I already bought my swim shorts, right? I'm done. That's in the past now. A day later, it's in the past. But the algorithms think I still want those, and I'm like, I have what I need. What you should be sending me is other camping stuff. If you want this to be efficient, send me stuff for outdoor activities. Why are you going just swim shorts now? And it's doing this with Sticker Mule, and it's doing this with the Sticky brand. I bought stickers three or four times this year because I needed them for conventions. And every YouTube ad is the Sticky brand or Sticker Mule. It's like, I already bought my stickers. Please stop. Please stop trying to sell me stickers. I'm done.
Do a test right now.
I'm done
let's see what our computer thinks of us today. Go on your Instagram and see what it's trying to sell you. Like first thing.
Oh, my Instagram is full of smut. I can't do that on the stream.
No, you don't put it up. Just scroll to where it starts to sell you stuff. Okay, already.
I'm just joking.
Temu, my buddy, this site that I've been looking at.
Immediately. Temu.
So it's got these green we're over here. These green glasses, because I'm with the Space Viking. It's got the lime green.
Yep, it knows. It knows
that. It knows I love wacky glasses.
You say,
oh my god!
You say the color.
Oh my god, dude! It's showing these Crocs that are skulls. I wear Crocs because I'm a middle-aged man, but these are edgy. They've made them to look like. Sorry, it's a little blurry, but they have skull faces, and they look like Castle Grayskull, one of my favorite He-Man things. But it's also, I don't know why I think some want skulls and shit. That's weird.
Dude, I think I think I broke.
Colors Cyberpunk.
I think I broke
Cyberpunk glasses.
I have those. Oh my god! Wait, hold on. Look, I have
Do you
those.
have those?
I literally have them on my desk right now.
He wants me to buy what you buy. Oh my god! See, you already have them, so it figures like I need them too, right? Oh wait! Look at this flat cap. What is this? What does this guy wear? And then you also wore a flat cap one time, and I have a picture of you with a flat cap in this phone. Because you were like, how do I look with a flat cap? So it knows that I have a picture of you in the flat cap. So it goes, hey man, it's time for you to get a flat cap.
It
Maybe
knows,
yours
man.
will be a little more edgy, and it's giving you those gray and those red colors. This red color that it's showing is the color of the Dig Dug color that's on the bottom of your screen right now.
Yeah.
And the fucking top two colors of your screen are the colors of my bedroom. And that is the color that I'm realizing that the red I can start adding as a pop of color. And I've been acknowledging this with my wife for the last 4 days. See what I'm saying? This is fucking crazy.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. So
and then if you could, and then now it really wants to sell hats because it's got 4 hats stacked on top of each other, and they're actually dude. Look, it's a stack. Just like the fucking background of our goddamn thing. Look, and it's got the blue, and it's got the colors. It's the mid-century. It's the stack. And I just thought last night, I go, I'm gonna make strips of mulch, which I did, and I'm gonna put colors of flowers and make a Dig Dug garden, much like a stacked gradient. Because gradients are popular again, because I've been searching the shit out of them, because mid-century is popular again. Oh, now back to more caps. It's trying to sell more caps. It can't get off the caps. But now we got this cool mushroom shirt.
I can't see that's not really showing up on your camera that well.
What? Oh, and now we got Absol's birthday party. We got Shark Crocs. Oh man, yeah, it's all fucked up. Anyway, this is getting nuts.
Fall Out Boy just released a song. It's a cover of We Didn't Start the Fire.
Really? By Billy Joel originally?
And they changed all the lyrics to be about 1989, so the year after I was born, to 2003. So all the current events that they're singing about. I'm going to put up a link to this song. I'm not allowed to play this song on stream. It just came out. There's no way in hell I'm allowed to play it on stream. So I'm going to link you guys to it and listen to it. We're talking about time. I've never cried so fast to a song before. It was like so much emotion because it was my favorite Billy Joel song, covered by my favorite modern band, and it was all topical. So I can't.
Wait, who did it?
Fall Out Boy.
Fall Out Boy. Okay.
And I'm gonna link it.
We didn't start the fire.
They did so good.
I'm trying to hear it in my head.
So I'm gonna link.
Just trying to think.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, no, he.
Yeah, he could pull that. He could pull that off.
Yeah, he does. He does pull it off. Stacy is an extremely music-centric person. She music. I want to hear this. Music defines her, and she's not. She hasn't listened to it yet. I haven't even sent her a link yet because I'm terrified of how much I love it, and Stacy might not at all. I feel like she might. And that's a huge ask for this band to like do it justice.
Did she like those bands at all?
Here we go.
Are you playing it?
Oh, core to the end of it. I'm not playing it. I can't play it, but I'm linking it.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Anyway,
guys, please listen to this song.
My question is, does Stacy
connect with us on this? So here's the thing. Stacy, music is about the memories that the music created within her life.
So it's just nostalgia.
And for me, music is an accessory to my present.
Okay, you gotta elaborate that.
So what I mean is my life is a movie, and the music that I listen to in the moment is a soundtrack. Stacy doesn't use music that way.
Okay, I do what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's more applicable. I do create my own soundtrack. We should do that sometime since we both do that. Like, what is the soundtrack of your life? And we can go back and forth and explain why. Paint It Black's on mine, there's certain ones they have, and they do have nostalgic context, I think, a lot of times, but they are recontextualized all the time.
One moment, guys.
But those glasses, man, they send into a fucking cosmic dimension. Do you guys see that? See what happened there? You buy those glasses from Amazon right now, those cyberpunk glasses, they'll fucking blow your brain apart. Anyway, he's seeing some things. I think his microwave beeped. What's he got, a burrito in there? Is he getting some food on? We can go back into these YouTube. They want to sell me a camouflage hat with my favorite color, which is this coppery orange right now. It knows I love it. It knows I'm loving that coppery color because it's always known I love that coppery color. You know what I realized? Guys? I had an epiphany. Middle-aged man. This happens. Doesn't matter how old you get, man. You're going to be at different places in life, and you're going to realize, holy shit. Oh, wow.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. My pizza was about to burn, so I had to go get it out of the oven.
Fucking coming nonstop with the pizza pepperoni, hot out the oven, Vikings one and only, pizza. Let's go. You're doing the pizza on another channel?
I am. So we didn't start the fire is a lot about that, where you connect with the stories that connect with where you were at in life. There's one point where he says he's listing off the stuff that happens, right? And he lumps the idea of the Fermi paradox came out at some point in the 90s. He's saying sciencey shit. He's connected with me directly. He goes Fermi paradox, and this happened, and this happened, and I'm like, what? My brain just melts while I'm listening to this music, the nostalgia hit, and I'm like, I actually really dislike nostalgia, but this song got it so right for the 1989 all the way to 2023. And I love, and this is kind of a spoiler for those of you who haven't clicked the song link yet. I'm going to put it in the chat again. For those of you who haven't listened to the song yet, it does not talk about COVID. I love that it leaves out COVID because we all fucking know about we don't need another reminder of COVID. So I love that the song doesn't have that.
At least not now. That's the thing. I think in the future.
Well, it'll be
when it's fun, and 20 years from now, when it's nostalgic and we're all wearing masks and shit and having a fun time. Remember when we used to wear masks?
Oh my god!
Fucking
2020 themed party.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. But it'll be fun then. Be like, that sucked 20 years ago, or people be like, I was just a kid then, and be like, man, I feel old. That'll be that kind of shit.
I was a baby,
I will be old. I'll be a boomer. I'll be a boomer.
What was it?
Whitebeard, CP. Fucking.
Are we gonna have? So we know how boomers were called boomers because they were, they were baby boomers. It was right after the World War. What if?
Yeah.
What if that generation of babies that were born in quarantine are called quarantinis or quarantines when they're teens? What if there's some new generation name because of the quarantine, and all the people who were in quarantine were making babies?
Well, isn't it because of the generations X, Y, Z? Why are they called boomers? Were they beta? Were they boom?
No, they were called boomers because there was a baby boom right after World War II.
But what's their generation? Gen W?
Oh, if you go by the letters. No, I don't think the letters started because of I think Y2K. People were thinking Y2K, millennium.
What are you saying, Abso?
Abso's right here. COVIDites. The COVIDites. I don't know if they'll use the word COVID, but it depends. We could start it right now. This podcast could take off when I finally get around to making an audio form. If this podcast takes off, we could be the ones to name this generation of babies born during COVID. We could do COVIDites. We could do quarantinis.
Yeah, but our 80 asses are gonna fucking forget about that shit. And then there's gonna be somebody. You guys, what are you guys 20 in the chat and 30 in the chat? There'll be some people who are younger. You younger folks are going to remember that, and you're going to forget about it too. And then like it'll all come back around. We're going to be fucking dead probably. And then you'll be like, yeah, COVIDites. Well, and then be like, I just came up with it for the first time.
The people born during the influenza outbreak were not named for a generation though. We didn't have pandemies or quarantinis from then. That's why generations are kind of silly anyway. The idea, the way we quantify that is kind of silly, but it's not going to go away because it's gotten so ingrained in society. I don't think we're ever going to stop thinking about generations.
What's part of how we are subdividing time?
Yes,
and we're using it to lump and categorize people to be safer. So when I see somebody who's 70 years old, I create a idea of how they're going to speak to me and how I'm going to speak to them. And it's going to be different than if I speak to somebody 50 or 30 or 10.
Are we going to stop allowing are we going to stop giving other generations a pass just because they're of a certain generation?
I don't think we give anyone a pass. I actually think we try to take shit and like I think it's just a struggle. I think it's a generational fight, and I think depending on where you're looking and who's in control, like giving someone a pass is like, we're saying that because they're older, but it's like, oh, they're in control, they're from this generation. We're making excuses because they're in control. We don't give them a pass. They didn't give us a pass. You know what I'm saying? They just are there, and eventually they die, and we become them. And then it's like people are gonna be like, we're gonna give those millennials a pass, but no, we were in charge. You guys were sitting there, and you guys can take our seat soon because you're gonna be really the only one to be the facilitator to connect the generations. I know boomers, I know zoomers. I'm in the middle. I'm a consumer. I'll put you together or I'll ruin you. I'll do whatever I want because I'm in the middle. That's my little poem about how
I like that.
How control works.
Let's
So no one's really in control. People are just in advantageous positions in different respects.
With 5 minutes left in the podcast.
Yeah.
What do you say? How do we break free of the linear mindset of time?
I know how to do it.
He does. Yeah, I feel like you do. I'm taking you completely seriously.
How would you do it?
How would I break free?
I'll let you start because I have a definitive answer.
Every morning when you wake up.
Photoshop ad. Here we go. Buy now. Pullover fleece.
Thank you for telling me there's an ad.
Why is it a Photoshop ad within an ad? This is an ad for Photoshop, and they're doing an ad. They're doctoring up a fleece. 20% off pullover fleece. All right. It's probably some AI. It's probably that new thing that they're showing. Move that in. Look how easy. Boom. Yeah. Why are you even showing a human do this? Adobe Photoshop. Try it now.
Look.
Yeah. See. Whatever, dude. None of that made sense.
Heck.
Where are you?
None of that made sense. I'm back. Hello.
Oh, okay.
What I would do is what I've been trying to do actually actively is when I wake up in the morning, I separate myself from the constructs in my mind. I go, I'm alive. I'm awake. I've awoken. After a time of rejuvenation, was supposed to be. Sometimes I don't wake up and I don't feel rejuvenated every time.
Don't worry, Dragon. We're back. I caught the ad. I caught that bullshit. I fucking grabbed that Adobe Photoshop like Mr. T grabbing a T-Rex.
CP is the
get the fuck out of here. I'll show you a Dragon Soul.
CP is the ad man.
Yeah.
CP. If we get popular, we're gonna have to do ad reads. And that'll be fun. That's gonna be fun.
$179 to spend towards BetterHelp because that's what it actually costs. They never actually talk about that. But if you don't have medical insurance, you can have an AI droid for nearly $200, make you feel a little bit better, or you can come to Rise and Mind and do it here anyway for free. So add within an adception.
So I would separate myself from these constructs every morning. That's what I've been trying to do. It hasn't always been successful because my alarm's going off. The time is right there on my phone. It's telling me what time it is. But my brain I should not be adding that to my plate when I know the sun is up, I'm alive, and that's what we should focus on if we want to separate ourselves from this linear concept of time. Every day is brand new. Past me no longer exists. Future me is yet to be determined. I can control anything that happens today. I can't control that shit that happened yesterday. Recognizing
what's the thing? Yesterday's a past. Tomorrow's a promise. Today's that kind of
That's not necessarily me stepping out of this trap, this linear trap that we're in. It's more just recognizing that I can only perceive now, and I can think about the past, and I can think about the future, but I can't perceive that. Not really. I need to live now. I need to live in the current. You can't feed the void? Wait, why can't you feed the void?
Well, now, dude. This is all it is.
Now.
Not right after the podcast. It's not before the podcast. It's right now. What do we want to do now? Isn't that a wild idea? See, I get a bit crazy when I start thinking of the now. See, we might get a bit fucking weird, dude. Like,
we just make the best of the now.
We'd be weird, man, if we just we'd be like Nick Miller shit.
Well, if we didn't have a concept of the past, then we wouldn't be able to teach children things that we've already learned.
We don't need to. They have the internet, man. We archive that shit. You're on your own, buddy.
We've archived that shit.
They're like, don't mansplain shit to me. That's only because you have the internet. Back in the day, people be like, please tell me what to do. I'm fucked. I don't even know what to do. I don't even know how I got here. Oh shit. Now kids are like, stop mansplaining this shit to me. I can fucking read it on Google.
My shit's fucked up,
dude. My shit's fucked. Yeah.
My shit's fucked up.
That's a different time.
Yeah. So, Dragon Soul, why can't you feed the void? You can feed the void all you want. I don't know where she is right now.
All I could picture was you singing a Sublime song, though. Like when you wake up to what you were just saying there, you're like, early in the morning, rising to the street, try to take all those constructive human consciousness and strap shoes on my feet.
Here she comes.
What was that? You trying to forget all what was that? Trying to forget all constructs. Trying to forget all human constructs. There we go. And strap shoes on my feet. Got to find a reason. No, I don't need to find a reason. That's a human construct. Just gotta go see what season it is. Yeah. And walk around with my mom. I don't know. Like, that's the thing. Like, it doesn't.
Walk around with your mom.
I miss that spontaneity and that moving around. And like,
me too.
And I feel like things are analyzed and constructed way too much. And I find, for me, when you can truly live, it's those moments where you shut down and you're not thinking about tomorrow. And that could be, what is that for you guys? Is that
how you would do it?
Well, I would say we just went on the artist retreat, right?
Yeah.
I was more free then. We went to the hardware store. We dicked around. I was starting to get drifty and starting to be me, especially around, more ADHD active type people. But I'm not here. This is what fucks me. It's a construct. It's a construction of a human construct. Yeah, and then it has things. And the more things that I have that I can control, the more bills I'm responsible for, the grass that should be cut outside, the dishes in the sink, all these things, they
is grass.
They absorb your time. So I find when I can go away to a retreat and not be like, when we were in that hardware store, you heard me. I was like, we can do whatever we want. Like, this isn't even like real, because it's not like I'm going to run into anybody.
Where you live. Yeah. I love that feeling. That's part of why when I first moved to my town, I didn't go into community. I loved that. I was loving that feeling when I first moved here. I loved that feeling of like, nobody knows me here. Great.
Yeah, it is. And I've always been in the same spot, but I've seen the time changed so much that a lot of those people are gone, or in either older people have passed on, people my age have maybe moved on, like to other areas, found different jobs, and then there's like every once in a while I'll see like a local person and be like, oh man, yeah. But then it's been so much time that I'm like, I don't even need to talk to them anymore, because we're like, I knew them from school decades ago, and like we don't even look the same, and it's like you don't even feel that obligation like you used to. Just be, hey, what's up? Like,
so is that how? That's how you step outside of the linear.
Well, yeah, because it's like being in this place that feels so familiar. Whenever I can add some spontaneity and take off for a little while, but for me, on a local context, it's going outside in the woods, losing track of time, not having a clock, not looking at the phone, just walking around and experiencing things where I walk to this point, to this point. It's the way that I recharge, because I don't have to think about, I have to do this, I have to look up this. I end up just being more present in the real time because I'm constantly stimulated with things around me. And in saying that, at home, if I draw for hours and eventually get lost and I start to lose track of time, I used to play guitar. There's different things that I do. Doing this, I lose track of time in this. Like, we've been going on for like almost 3 hours. I know we took like a big break stuff, but it's like, it doesn't register like that to me, because we're talking about ideas and concepts and philosophies, and it doesn't have to be like, even though we have a subject, it can meander about and go in different directions. And so I think if you want to be you and be the true version of yourself, is embrace what you value, but embrace the things that you also find yourself like, man, did 2 hours just pass? 3 hours? Oh man, I've been at this all afternoon. The things that destroy the perception of time in a societal sense, and take and where you take over, your human spirit just takes you in a direction, and time and space doesn't mean everything.
Exactly.
We all have those things.
Have you ever, this is what I want to end on. Gotta wrap up.
Okay.
Have you ever tried to literally step outside of your body and mind, like through meditation?
Yeah.
Things like that. I only had this happen once, where a friend of mine and I were trying, it's where you try to bring your consciousness to a different place, even though your body is staying in the one place. And a friend of mine and I were trying to meet in a dream. And as we've talked about before on the podcast, I don't really dream. So to attempt to control it was absolutely fascinating. Now, my favorite planet is Saturn. And I was like, let's meet on the rings of Saturn and let's look at Saturn from the rings, like with the how big Saturn is. And I was able to go there, astral projecting, yes, that's what it's called. And I was able to force my memories and everything I know about that planet. I poured all of it into it, and I was able to step outside of myself and be on the planet. And this was delivered to me as a dream. It felt like a dream. I didn't feel like I was actually me doing it. And that I did not see that friend there. We were trying to meet there, right? In the dream. But I was there by myself. And for all intents and purposes, I didn't see them there. Now, they later told me that they were there, that they went to Saturn, right? In their dream as well. I was like, okay, cool. So we learned how to lucid dream. I don't think we actually astral projected. And I've never recreated this. I haven't done this more than once. So the scientist part of my brain was like, that was a coincidence. Because I can't recreate it. You can recreate something, then it becomes more fact. Like if you can do more than, it's the rule of 3. In science, it's a rule of 3. If you can do it 3 times, congratulations. Created a fact.
It's a good rule. I mean, it's what you do when you look up things for literary sources. You want to find, if you want to watch a YouTube video of like how fix something, I 100% recommend watch at least 3 videos, because sometimes going with that first guy, he might have been not the expert.
Not the best. not an authority on it.
Yeah, so you never know. So it's good to have that rule of 3.
It works with this one video I saw of a moon landing conspiracy. They thought they saw some structures like in his like the reason we never went back to the moon. They thought they saw some structures in his reflection of his right, and it does look like it. It was convincing. Don't get me wrong, but I never saw it again from any other source. And I'm like, maybe not real, but how cool of an idea if we never went back because it was occupied. Interesting idea, and it's like. It sort of wraps up everything in the moon landing hoax conspiracy being implanted by our own government so that people would stop thinking about what's on the moon. Instead, now we're arguing about whether we went at all. Now we're not even thinking about the other shit. Like, that's plausible. But there wasn't enough additional evidence. The rule of 3s works really well for the lucid dreaming thing. It works really well for astral projection. Whether or not meditation can heal the body, all these things. Like, apply the rule of 3. You'll find that a lot of things are said once, very loud, and never talked about again. Probably easy to debunk it.
Yeah, lucid dreaming, I have experienced. Astral projecting, I'm a little less convinced that I have, but possibly I have. If this is considered astral projection, because I know there's different. You can go to a different space, or you can go outside of your body, see your body, maybe, if that's considered the astral projection, or if that's just separation of body and mind. But I never thought I could meditate to the point where I'd be that much at ease. And I used to wait in cars sometimes, and I got in this habit of waiting in a car, and for, I think it was when Abso was working a specific job, and I showed up, and I would sit sometimes in the car, and I got so used to it that I would put on music and I would shut off sometimes, and then all of a sudden, all this time had passed, and I was like, what happened? Then I started to realize I was falling asleep while being awake, and I was like, oh no, dude, I think you're meditating. I think you're separating your brain and your body. And then I was like, it happens so quickly, and then all of a sudden you feel super rested. It's like, wait, what the? So I was able to do that some 20 years ago. But as far as the dreaming stuff, yeah, lucid dreaming, controlling dreams, you name it. We can talk more about that some other time. But yeah, it's tough in today's world to fully separate yourself, especially when we have other things that act as energy traps, to catch the energy and attention. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, and that's a way to step outside of time. I want to talk more about that as a wrap up. Is that you can get out of the linear progression and view everything all at once. The way time is real, the way time is actually interacting with the quantum realm, the way it's actually interacting in the macro space too. The universe and the galaxies have existed for astronomical amounts of time, but the way they interact with each other is almost as if it's happening instantaneously, because there's so much power out there. There's so much energy going into these black holes, tearing stars apart. But you could actually live on a planet that's orbiting a star that's being torn apart, because the time scale is so vast of these energy transfers that you aren't being violently torn asunder on these planets. But it is happening. But it's happening so slowly relative to our perception that you could live an entire 100 years of life on one of these planets, farming, building, creating more humans, creating relationships, being yourself, while that star is being torn apart by this black hole, and you are living in the light of that destruction. Your plants are growing from the light of that destruction. But it's so vast and so long that you don't even perceive that. But on the universal scale, that's happening almost instantaneously, because it's so destructive and so powerful. to be able to set yourself out of that linear structure is, I believe it would drive us mad. And I think I'm not biblical at all. I'm not religious in that way. But there's a line in the Bible that says that if you were to witness God, your mind would tear itself apart. And I think that's what they meant. I think that's the real meaning of those words. Like, if you were to really step out of, the grand scheme of all this and view it as it is really happening, you would go crazy. You would go completely mad if you were to step outside of the way our brain perceives it. I think that's how our brains evolved, so that we wouldn't go crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking on to that too, like, hey, the Bible is a good book. I'm not saying like people need to believe in the spiritual sense of it, but it is a good story that is very applicable, especially since it's been translated so many times. So like you're talking about like how that pertains. Here's a Bible passage. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in to steal, but store up your treasures in heaven, where neither moth or rust destroy, where thieves do not break in and steal. So I mean, there you go. That's the Dreamers Arcade writing about Trent, man. Like, and
I didn't know Trent was in the Bible.
He's in the Bible. These stories are just, like I say, with archetypes and circling roles. The Bible is a very important book to align with all the other writing, and then you realize that the stories are just repeating.
It broke, but luckily it did save most of what we were doing. I just didn't have Breath of Fresh Air up. There we go. Cool. Yeah, our relation to time and space would eventually. Dragon Soul, we can do an interview. We could have you on as a guest at some point. I think we're back. Yeah, so Dragon Soul, we can have you on as a guest at some point, but we're wrapping up, so there really isn't time for you to put in your 2 cents on this episode. But we would love to have you as a guest if you'd like to talk more about that. If you have experience with lucid dreaming, with astral projection, it'd be awesome to have you on just to talk about it as a guest.
Yeah, because I have also experienced that in other dream-related phenomena. So it is weird, and it's weird for a long time. It was very weird presenting those ideas to people, but now I'm starting to realize it's common, and there are very small percentage of people, like 13% of the people that can do this kind of stuff. But I'm glad to have you on board. Another one who can play a video game in their dream.
Another one. Like we came back just to wrap it up. But that's a great wrap up, guys. And I believe we have a pretty good viewership right now. So let's go ahead and do like a quick little thank you so much for joining us for Rise in Mind. Been a blast. We've had CP Sketch with us as always. Thank you so much, everybody.
Abso hanging out in the back with the cats.
Somewhat avid. Approximate knowledge is what we aim for, Dragon Soul. So thank you. We're not experts, so I'm more than happy to have a non-expert on as a guest. Every now and then we do have experts on, like when we had Alyssa Camo, who is a music masters of music on. So she actually has like music theory down pat.
We had Joe Slater, who's published
prolific
three books, right? Yeah. 3 or 4 books. So we have some people that do some stuff, and you know, I'm college educated. I can give you that much. I have a degree in art, and very much interested in psychology and science. I was more interested in history though, but this guy's gotten me into the science.
I'm just painfully curious.
Yeah, me too.
When it comes to the science stuff, I'm well learned in it, but I am by no means a college educated. I'm a science groupie. I follow it all, I read it all, but I'm not talented in that. I can practice science. We practice science every day, human beings. Like we do it without even realizing it. Trial and error, you know, the way we learn, it's ingrained in us, but it's not necessarily I'm an expert in.
Yeah, I mean, we're all just fucking playing around.
Yeah.
We're all liars, man. I just want to hey, here's the best thing you're going to learn today on the show. We're all liars. Nobody gave us this special pass to be in charge or to be the adults. We're just figuring it out, and we all have us feel like imposters. Like, I shouldn't fucking be here, but no one else is here. I guess I'm it now. We all just fake it until we figure it out and die and trade it to the next guy. So it's not like we're all just figuring it out, and people figure out this side and that side. Let's just be cool and try to figure it out and have fun together, you know? And hey, Kat, what the fuck's going on? Cheese, you want to be on the TV?
Awesome.
And
so, Dragon Soul, that won't be for a while. Our next guest is actually going to be
held.
I don't know when this is going to happen.
This is our next guest right here.
Doesn't like to be held? Let him lay on you. Just like pick him up and just like go loose, and let him decide like what he wants to do on you.
There you go. Space Viking let him decide to fucking put his claws on my shoulder. There you go.
Right, yeah.
Holy fuck.
I'm sorry he did that to you. Okay.
that cat. No, it's fine. That cat and now he's scratching more down there. He's just wild. He's Absol's little baby cat.
What I like to think is I stressed out my cat, and he's gonna go get the stress out on the scratching.
That cat's the nice cat.
Yeah. So since we got some heavy viewership today.
Yeah. Thank you for all hanging out.
I appreciate you all. We'll go ahead and do a raid. Normally, we will not always raid from here. Like the more common thing for us. But get some people hanging out, so we'll go ahead and do a raid.
There's some Cheez-It love in the chat.
Oh, by the way, I do have some new Inky emotes. Reminded me.
Oh, cool, man.
Got an Inky this, and we got an Inky headed. Because she needed to be represented.
That's what Abso came in with.
Yep, she had those.
She was promoting those.
Yes. I'm gonna find someone who's also doing some. We could actually raid the Adorable Kittens channel, but that no one's really hosting that show. I like to support other people doing this. Adorable Kittens channel is great to just sort of have on. Dragon Soul's got the sexy cheese emote I'd made for Elder Cheese.
Oh, nice.
If you hover over that, you can see it's a cheese with a thong. There's not really. I'm not really sure who to raid. If anyone's got someone doing art, or someone also doing something podcast-like, we can raid them. If not, we'll just end. I'm not seeing any online really today. In my immediate.
Yeah, fuck them, dude.
Fuck them. Now, well, guys, we do have our recommended as well. As always, definitely go check out Dreamers Arcade.
Yeah, they're all right. Check out.
Yeah, they're cool.
Check out. Hey, follow channel 32 French. I think it is. He's trying to get affiliate. You guys like Magic the Gathering and.
Oh my god, this is us doing the rap. That's cool. You've been dropping that emote to great hilariousness. Oh, I'm glad. I'm very glad. I love to see my artwork like being used. If anyone has the Franker Face add-on for Google, You can get some
you
great.
gotta get that.
You can get some great additions to Twitch from that. So we're probably just gonna end, guys. Once again, this has been Rise in Mind. Thank you so much, and go ahead and check out our recommended streamers on our About page on Twitch. Go give everyone a follow. Everyone follow everyone. I've stolen that from Buttery Smooth. He says, "Everyone follow everyone." Because yes,
Abso says that too.
Good. Everyone follow everyone.
Follow
even
everyone.
Even if someone isn't streaming, follow them because someday you might see their notification pop up. Oh shit, that person's streaming. Follow everybody. My body's shutting down, so I have to go eat some pizza. I love you all.
You should have done that. Yeah, right. Do the pizza.
It's cool. It's cooling off. It's gonna cool off. Probably cool by now.
She's coming in hot.
You guys are amazing. We peaked at around 11 viewers.
Yeah.
So you guys are amazing, and we're getting the stream itself. The Space Viking 42 stream is nearing 1,000 followers. We're at 929.
Oh, jeez.
So
that's amazing, dude.
Anyone who's checking us out, share the stream, follow, tell your friends, force your friends to watch the stream. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to force. But
that's that Chad Colchin method.
Yeah,
force grab
people,
them to the seat, make them watch.
Force people to watch
it. Like fucking Ludovico treatment from Clockwork Orange. You know?
Oh my god!
Trap their shit.
And we'll do. Man, I wanted to raid somebody, but there's just not many people online, and nothing that really coincides with our vibe. No, heck, we'll do Scrappy Jane. Heck. Heck. Scrappy Jane's cool. I want to send you guys off. I want to keep things going. I don't want you to suddenly go into a void, an endless void of Twitch. We got some people lurking. You know, we'll continue the good vibes going on to Scrappy Jane. Scrappy Jane just started, I think, too.
Scrappy Jane's kicking ass. Yeah.
Scrappy Jane.
I don't know anything about Scrappy Jane, but Scrappy Jane's kicking ass, and we're going there.
Yeah, Scrappy Jane's just good vibes. They're starting soon. Hopefully they start before we raid, because sometimes they can be awkward. They're like trying to do their intro, and they're just getting raided.
That's the nature of Twitch, man.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
You gotta see. Here's the difference. Twitch you can go to someone's house unannounced. What?
But they call it a raid. They're not shy about what it really is, you know?
Well, it's not like me just showing up or mom showing up, you know. It's like, hey, let's just bring a handful of people over to your house and party at your place this morning. Fuck yeah, hope you're ready. Hardy.
Wait.
All right. Crazy Jane, let's go. I mean,
Crazy Jane. Crazy. That's crazy. I'm getting kind of low blood sugar over here because I had 2 cups of coffee, only a little bit of water, no food.
Well, get yourself some Captain Crunch. He's celebrating his 60th birthday. Shout out Captain Crunch.
He's not... Okay, we're rating. Rating's going off.
General Mills, motherfucker! Starting soon.
General Mills.
Yeah, just drop a bunch of those in there.
I have. Oh no!